Tonight on our third episode of Movies About Movies, we're going to take a little stroll into Toontown. That's right, we're talking about the 1988 Robert Zemeckis live-action animated hybrid comedy, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, based on the comic mystery novel Who Censored Roger Rabbit by Gary K. Wolfe, about a hard-boiled detective named Eddie Valiant, who gets hired by a comic strip sidekick, Roger Rabbit, to find out why the guys who own the cartoon syndicate, Rocco and Dominic, have gone back on their deal to let him have his own comic. The investigation takes a dark turn when Roger Rabbit is murdered, and then Rocco turns up murdered and everyone knows Roger Rabbit, who may have faked his own death. The novel came out in 1981 and was almost immediately optioned by Disney. Ron W. Miller, the son-in-law of Walt Disney, who had died in 1966, now ran the Walt Disney Company as president, and he optioned the novel because, hoping to expand into ever newer realms, he saw the possibility of making a Roger Rabbit blockbuster. Robert Zemeckis wanted to come aboard to direct it, but Ron Miller didn't like that Zemeckis' last two films had flopped. He hired Jeffrey Prince and Peter S. Seaman to write a draft of a screenplay, and Daryl Van Critters began shooting test footage for this large-scale blending of film and animation. The original cast of Who Framed Roger Rabbit would have been Paul Reubens as Roger Rabbit, Peter Renaday as Eddie Valiant, and Rusty Taylor as Jessica Rabbit. But that's not the version we got, because in 1984, despite having success laying the groundwork not only for the Disney Channel, but getting Disney into computer animation by taking a huge gamble on Tron, and also funding a young Tim Burton who had just made Vincent and Frankenweenie, and founding Touchstone Pictures, a coup led by Roy E. Disney, Walt's nephew, Stanley Gold, and Sid Bass ousted Ron W. Miller in favor of a junta, Michael Eisner, Frank Wells, and Jeffrey Katzenberg. Ron W. Miller was out, but still married to Walt's daughter Diane, and they left Burbank and moved to Napa Valley, where in 1981 they had already founded the Silverado Vineyards Winery, and they just spent out their days creating a massive winery, put solar panels all over it, and hybrid engines. Ever the forward thinker. Meanwhile, back at the corporate behemoth Disney, where there were no solar panels, in 1985, Michael Eisner decided to revamp the Who Framed Roger Rabbit project, deciding to bring on Steven Spielberg and Amblin Entertainment as producers. It was Spielberg who went around to Warner Brothers, Fleischer Studios, Harvey Comics, King Features, Felix the Cat Productions, Turner Entertainment, and Universal Pictures, asking them to lend out their characters. The contract with Spielberg traded creative control and box office profits to Amblin, but allowed Disney to keep the merchandising rights. We call that the reverse George Lucas. Spielberg also negotiated complicated contracts with some of the other companies I mentioned, specifically Warner Brothers, where Disney characters and Warner Brothers characters must be treated equally. Daffy Duck and Donald Duck are equally talented at playing piano, for instance, and Disney and Warner Brothers characters are always paired off. Bugs Bunny and Mickey, Porky Pig and Tinkerbell.
I've worked with a lot of wisecrackers, but you are despicable. This is the last time I work with someone with a speech impediment.
Guy who went from having a bad time to a good time was Robert Zemeckis, who had made Romancing the Stone and Back to the Future with Steven Spielberg, and finally was brought on to be the director of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Although first they tried to bring in Terry Gilliam, alt director casting, but he didn't want to do all the work to blend the live action and animated parts. He later said that decision was a huge regret, and he was just being lazy at the time. Another person who could have been cast but didn't get it until he saw the movie and regretted it was Eddie Murphy. Spielberg wanted to cast Harrison Ford because he always does, but the price was too steep. Trying to cast Eddie Valiant was a typical 1980s process. Robert Redford, Paul Newman, Stallone, Edward James Olmos, Jack Nicholson, Wallace Shawn, even Bill Murray. Finally, Bob Hoskins was cast because Spielberg brilliant. Charles Fleischer plays Roger Rabbit. Kathleen Turner, who was pregnant and liked doing a voice acting role, was cast as Jessica Rabbit. Tim Curry and John Cleese both auditioned to be Judge Doom. They looked at Peter O'Toole, F. Murray Abraham, and Roddy McDowall, but ultimately it was Christopher Lloyd because he had just done Back to the Future with Zemeckis and Spielberg. Stubby K, Joanna Cassidy as Eddie's girlfriend Dolores. It would be Mel Blanc's last time as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Tweety, and Sylvester. Wayne Allwine, Tony Anselmo, Tony Pope, and an archival recording of Frank Sinatra. Richard Williams was brought in as the animation director, but in order to do the film, he asked the whole crew and the cast to go out to London, where they filmed at Elstree Studios for the live action parts, and Richard Williams' animation became Disney Animation UK. Industrial Light and Magic, George Lucas's effects shop, worked on rigging live action props that would be held by cartoon characters, and VistaVision cameras with motion control were used for the live action scenes. After a 7-month principal photography shoot, there was 14 months of a complicated animation and post-production process using cels and optical compositing. The rough animation was shot on the rostrum camera, a special animation camera. Then Roger Williams decided to make the film 2.5 dimensional by doing some light computer compositing to get things like shading, tones, and highlights, followed by lighting effects being composited and animation composited onto the live action film. After some final arguments with this fucking guy, Roy E. Disney and Katzenberg, about mature and sexual content they feel like shouldn't be in a Disney movie, hence the Touchstone Pictures logo, Who Framed Roger Rabbit opened on June 22nd, 1988.
But I'm a toon. Toons are supposed to make people laugh. Sit down! You don't understand. Those people needed to laugh.
Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. We are live right now on This Space. If you aren't following them, join This Space TV on YouTube. Link below. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Christina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Christina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Christina. Mike Scott is the host of the Bottled and Bond podcast, a podcast dedicated to discussing the history of the lore of the 25 Eon-produced James Bond movies and enjoying a cocktail relevant to the movie. I, of course, am the new judge in Toontown, and there are going to be a lot of changes, and your host, Forrest Miller. It was me. I framed Roger Rabbit.
Man, it's weird for it to come out this way in the intro, but here we are. I guess we've got a whole show to do. So,
it's been long. It's been long enough. I need to come out and say I was the one that framed Roger Rabbit.
It's bold of you to say this, Mike. Welcome to the show, man. It's good to have you.
Thanks. Good to be here. Appreciate you guys inviting me on.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Bottled and Bond. That is a show I listen to, even though I'm a couple episodes behind.
Oh, you're the one. Awesome.
Yeah. And it's funny because I have not watched any James Bond movie in a very long time. So it's something where I'm like, well, I'll just listen to these and I'll get around to watching those whenever I watch them. But it's a great show. I really enjoy it. You and your co-host have a great rapport. And it's an entertaining listen. But who cares about James Bond? We're talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This is one of a movie you quite like, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
I mean, this is nostalgia fog totally for me. I would spend every other weekend at my mom's when I was a kid, and she had like 8 tapes, and it was like Backdraft, and I don't even remember the other ones, but this was one of those tapes. So I watched it 3, 4, 5 times every weekend I was over there. And so now I
was it one of the clunky, the kind of like plastic clunky Disney ones?
No, it was just the old standard. It wasn't a clamshell.
The clamshell case. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Wow, boy, that's taking it back.
But I watched it enough that now I can annoy my daughter by quoting the entire movie as we watch it.
Yeah, it's very much a film that I saw it in the theater, and I had the realization that I was like, oh, this isn't for kids. Like early on. And I was like, cool. Because at the time I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like I'm into that. But yeah, I've seen it a bunch over the years, and this is sometimes you again have that fog of nostalgia, right? And it's like, oh, it didn't really hold up. See Hocus Pocus, right? Not to call anything out, but and then sometimes it's like, oh no, this is actually like kind of better than I remember, which is to say this movie. And I feel like also personally, what a triumph of hand-drawn 2D animation and practical effects that like
bring it back.
We will never see the likes again of that, you know, and that's sad. So when you say you can't make Roger Rabbit today, that's mostly what I'm referring to.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, also too, really good crossovers with different cartoons from different animated studios.
It was like the Avengers Endgame of its time, right? Yeah,
that got ruined too, apparently, for what I've been hearing this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious, Forrest and Kristina. Yeah, like what's your experience? Because like I know you're younger than Mike and I.
My first introduction to it was I Love the '80s because they did a segment on it.
Nice.
A lot of stuff from the I Love series was like my first introduction. That's how I learned about Bobby Dearest. But I was like cartoons and live action at the same time. I was like, you know,
Toons.
Yeah. So I read it on VHS and I loved it.
Interesting, because I mean, I saw it when I was 10, like in the theater, and I think my dad. This is a long. Mike, there's a lot of episodes of the show that start with me seeing an inappropriate movie for a small child to see, and it's because my dad wanted to see it and didn't want to go alone. That's I mean, RoboCop, you know, like freaking Total Recall. There's all these movies, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, honestly, in retrospect, it's actually not that bad by comparison. I will say, Judge Doom freaked me out as a kid.
He's scary.
Out. Genuinely terrifying.
How about you, Forrest?
Oh,
so all right. So my experience seeing it was going to the to the VHS store, running out of Looney Tunes movies to watch, running out of like Disney movies, like a small kid running out of Disney movies to watch, running out of. I remember at one point I watched like the crossover where it was every single cartoon character and they were telling you not to do drugs, but I didn't realize that's what it was going to be. So it was like the Muppet Babies, and it was like it was like Looney Tunes. They were all just like, don't do drugs. And then I was like, I want to see something where they all come together.
What if they did something cool?
Yeah. So I bet it just kind of I ran out of like Looney Tunes movies to watch and Disney movies to watch and just all of the different cartoons.
Like this was like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, like this is like wow, they're in this.
Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just gonna say you mentioned about going to see movies too young. I saw The Fly with my aunt when I was 5, so that was Yes, that was quite a memory.
That definitely beats seeing RoboCop in 5th grade, but
yeah,
you know, it amounts to the same. And again, there are things that I definitely did not pick up as a kid. For sure. Like you know.
I think that's why it holds up so well now. Why it holds up so well for us of our ages now is because of all those jokes that you didn't get as a kid. You're looking at it in a different light now, and it's just as fun in different ways.
I think there's people in the chat right now willing to fight a duel over her. So, you know, there you go.
So I didn't really think about this too much until I was thinking about the process of making this. Spielberg went hat in hand to including 2 studios like Fleischer Studios, like Betty Boop and like Felix the Cat. Like they all had their own studios at that point because it had been so many decades that they had been around, and it's like there's just somebody that holds the copyright, and occasionally maybe they make like a appearance in something. And it's Spielberg that had to go hat in hand to each one of these different each one of these different studios, comic places. Like they're owned by just radically different. Like you'll see a comic shop or like a cartoon syndicate, like an actual, like you'll see all these different things, and he had to actually go physically and make these deals because they're like, listen, like we're not gonna, like Michael Eisner isn't going to go to like, you know, like to like Warner Brothers, you know. I think one of them just left Warner Brothers, like, you know, like as an executive, like their little junta that they had set up with Eisner and Katzenberg, and I can't remember who the third guy was, but like their little junta, that it was all people from different, which is why it's so cool that we talked about The Player last week. It was all people from, like they all were Larry Levy, so it's now run by 3 different versions,
right?
Of, like,
Exactly.
the Larry Levy character,
right,
from The Player.
And it's crazy that it's Zemeckis. First of all, because Zemeckis is unapologetically pro AI now, which is such a freaking drag. Like, don't listen to him talk about it. It's such a bummer. Like, it's just sort of like, I get it, you're technology forward, but come on, dude. But I think it's amazing that this takes place after Back to the Future, but before Back to the Future 2 and 3 comes out, because they filmed those back to back. So all that really Zemeckis had released was Amazing Stories, which was an amazing, which actually was a wonderful show. That was like an anthology show. It was a feature film edited from 3 different episodes of like the show. But there was a show that I remember very distinctly, and not, you know, it was like a meant to be like a Twilight Zone kind of thing, but like Spielberg's sort of,
I remember that
deal.
one.
Yeah, there was some good stuff in there, but it was sort of like he wasn't at. I mean, Back to the Future was huge, but he wasn't at blank check status for this, which is to say a cross-corporation crossover noir story, but like also not just like nothing like this really had been done before at the time.
Yeah, well, he had done like his debut, I guess, in like 1978, like I Want to Hold Your Hand, and then he had done in 1980 Used Cars, and those were like so he had gone to Disney. And for whatever reason, like I guess he must have known Ron W. Miller. Like I don't know how he ended up being the guy that went to Disney. Like, hey, I'd like to direct this. But at the time, right in the early '80s, when they're putting this kind of idea together, he hadn't done Romancing the Stone. He hadn't done Back to the Future. He was kind of just this guy that had two notable flops, pretty much, to his name. Like 2 movies that did not do well. And
then Back to the Future, which did great. So I mean, basically.
But the timeline, though, right? The timeline is that from 80 to 84 or whatever, when Ron W. Miller is running Disney, like the son-in-law. That hadn't, like, Romancing the Stone hadn't come out yet.
Romancing the Stone was that was a pretty surprise hit.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
For us too, at one point.
Yeah, exactly. That was a big episode. I was like, all right, fine. That one's good. I mean,
did Zemeckis meet Bob Gale on Used Cars? Wasn't that how they first got together?
Ooh.
I could be wrong there. But I believe that's the story. I believe that's it. So that's the best thing to come out of Used Cars is them going on to write Back to the Future.
Yeah, Used Cars. Not amazing. Yeah. It's fine. It's not horrific, but it's not bad. By the way, snap correction from the comments. Fortunately, I have to fact check Forrest here. Yosemite Sam and Foghorn Leghorn were not voiced by Mel Blanc in this film, as he couldn't do those voices anymore. He gave those roles to Joe Alaskey. I did not know that.
I didn't say Foghorn Leghorn in the thing. And I don't think I said Yosemite Sam either. I'm getting fact checked on something that I didn't say.
Forrest biscuit to burn.
He was Bugs. He was Daffy. He was Sylvester, Tweety, and I think he was Porky Pig in this.
You know what's funny though is that, like, I watched the most recent Looney Tunes movie. It's like one guy voicing like half of the characters now. I'm like, damn.
The day the Earth blew up, right? Yeah, it was good.
No cracks, Daffy. Oh, okay. And it's doing like an OnlyFans bit.
There's an OnlyFans joke, and I remember that very well.
I was like, this is not for kids, man.
Yeah. No, but it was good, and we've. I feel like the art of 2D, and Disney doesn't even do anymore. You know, like it's not even a thing that you see anymore.
Yeah, at least Warner Brothers, like, we'll do some 2D stuff.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what Netflix does with Looney Tunes.
With Mel Blanc, right?
You mean the People's Platform, Mike?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Like originally Mel Blanc was Bugs, Daffy, Porky Pig, Tweety, Sylvester, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn Leghorn, Speedy Gonzales, Marvin the Martian, Pepe Le Pew, and Wile E. Coyote. He was all of those voices. And also Barney Rubble. And I don't know how the fuck he managed to jump to like the Hanna-Barbera studio.
Most of the cartoons were voiced by like 3 people, really, if you think about it.
I recently We played in LA for my birthday with a couple shows, one big one. I went to Hollywood Forever, the Great Cemetery, because I was thinking like, hey, what's a cool free thing to do? Because I have no money, and it was badass. I will say the second most popular grave, first Judy Garland, second one Mel Blanc. Really, like there was like I was like, oh, I'd like to see this, but I guess I got to wait for these people to get out of the way. I mean, more so than like Johnny Ramone, more so than Peter Lorre. Like it was interesting. I was like, oh, Mel Blanc. All right. Cool.
It's a very popular one.
Bugs Bunny, the two icons that only matter in this world,
It's a very popular one to take pictures of, and people leave different characters on it. So
because you know what, that does make sense because he voiced like 100 different beloved characters, so it's like, of course, he would be popular to visit.
When it says here, I'll put it on the. Can you solo this, Forrest?
Yeah, hold on.
Let's see.
Man of 1,000 voices,
and it says that's all, folks, which I think is pretty amazing. I was like, you know what? If you're gonna put an aphorism on your gravestone, hell yeah,
he was the man of 1,000 voices, and Lon Chaney was the man of 1,000 faces. Yeah,
that's true.
Anyway, that is probably where they got that's where they got the name. I'm sure, like the title.
Right. So this movie was remarkable in a number of ways, not the least of which is, and it took me till much later on to realize it, that like, no, this is a noir movie. This is a movie about a movie, but also this would have fit fine into our noir month. This is totally, and it's as much of
these movies about movies have in common. They're all also noir films.
Well, and it's also like a send up of it, just like The Big Lebowski and just like Long Goodbye, like, but it in a way that now it's just kind of normalized that it just comes across like noir. And I find that so fascinating because it's, as we think about that genre, I know we're not anymore necessarily, but as we think about that genre and how it sort of reinvents himself and how the context changes, it's interesting to watch this with a modern sensibilities after something like Brick and things like along those lines, where it's like, no, this is playing off of people's idea of noir tropes at the time, and then also what the 1988 sensibility of that in memory is, and it works on multiple levels, and that's just as astounding to me from a genre-wise thing as the IP crossover that just wasn't done, except for like "Don't do drugs, kids." Yeah, like except for that.
Yeah. Well, I picking up on it as an adult, because obviously I hadn't seen it as a kid. Chinatown is referenced so much.
It's Chinatown with cartoons, I say that as a compliment, right? It's more or less. This is how I found out about the founding of the interstate highway system, which is like crazy. Like I found out through a movie that has freaking Roger Rabbit in it. I mean, it's like there's a talking taxi. And that's how I found out about the freaking founding of the interstate freeway system, which is absolutely a racist endeavor that fundamentally changed the backbone of this country in very intrinsic ways. And I found out about it because of Judge Doom. Great. Movies are wonderful.
It's fascinating because they, like the book, I'm pretty sure is set when the book came out. Like, so they made the conscious choice. Hey, we're gonna actually put this like 4 decades before right now in the 1940s because that kind of was the heyday of cartoons, and it makes a lot more sense that Dumbo would be flying to the window, and it would make a lot more sense that all of these cartoon characters from Looney Tunes. I love the idea that they're kind of just loaning out these characters. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh no, they're on loan to the studio for X amount of time,
which they used to do because when people had studio soundtracks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love some of the little just sight gags in the background. Like even the first cartoon with the Baby Herman cartoon at the end of it, when you see that the mom's legs are just platforms that some guy's walking on that they filmed for it. And the cows are all outside auditioning, and there's a sign that says cattle call behind them. I love those little things. And some of the cattle call one, I didn't even notice until more recently.
Yeah, because there's a lot of kind of background stuff happening. And that, is this there for you on a second or third watch? I mean, I gotta say, first time I watched that, the thing in the bar, and I'm sure we'll get to it when we run through the plot points. Where he's like, no, me and my friend Harvey here, and he puts his arm around an invisible rabbit. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's a reference to at the time it would have been the play, but the movie Harvey. With Jimmy Stewart. And I was like, oh my God, I never got that before. And I was like, holy moly, that's a deep cut for me. But I did, of course, when I was 10, I didn't get it. But
what's funny too is I remember, I think it was on Saturday Night Live. I think what Justin Timberlake had to have hosted because he did a weekend update with Andy Samberg. They were these Charles Schultz characters, and and they were talking about, you know, their characters are a couple, and he's like, I swear on Charles Schultz himself, Jessica Rabbit walked in right now, I wouldn't even blink. And then you hear the drum intro, and Jessica Biel's walking in, and he's like, and Justin Timberlake as this guy, he's like, and then she's like, hey, you want to go on a walk? And he's like, later, fatty. It's just funny, like how this is still like even years, decades later. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is still a very.
She's an all-time cosplay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
If only I had the money, I would have done it tonight.
I think so many like whether it's, you know, the late 80s or the 90s, like some people had like weird formative sexual experiences to watching the Kathleen Turner voiced Jessica Rabbit come in, and it's like, because it's obviously
also
like,
too, like she's kind of modeled off of Rita Hayworth, you know, like
and Veronica Lake,
and also and Lauren Bacall as well, like, and you know, and so much. I mean, there's but like there's just so much.
It's three of the most iconic actresses of all time. All right, but it's
true.
Like,
there's like a there's like so many kids I think ended up seeing this, even if it's not really for kids.
Their first crush was Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, I know a lot of boys like that. And I'm like, you know what? Like people are like, it's weird to be crushing on animated characters. I'm like, no, not really, because they're kind of the first things you watch when you're a kid. So
yeah. And I like that her backup band. I mean, you can see it there is the Crows from Song of the South.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What a great, if you know that movie, that's such a great call. Because and that hits an important point too. Is that again, I didn't pick up on the fact that Toontown being like a segregated part of the city, right? Like, I was like, no, they're talking about segregation. Like, and I was like, wow, in this freaking movie, like, you know, again with the talking taxi, like they're talking about segregation. It's amazing to get.
I mean,
it's
quite literally Chinatown, but you know, like this, it's such a good like bit for that, because it's like, you know, at the end of the movie, he's kind of walking out of it, and it's almost forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown, but it's like everybody's a cartoon.
And again, directed by nobody, but still a great movie, Chinatown. So
incredible movie. But it's like, I don't know.
It's weird nobody directed it.
I know.
The entire trolley part, and they make the joke. He says, you know, he's like, oh, I'm so glad Los Angeles has the greatest public transit system in the world, and it's like because the freeway is going to come in, and then that's never going to be the case again. So it's like in that one moment. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like a, you know, public transit nerd or something. This time I was like, God damn, like they made that reference like subtly in there.
Well, and it was a simpler time too, because you could bump cigarettes off of 12-year-olds also.
Not just the bubblegum kind that you get at the ice cream truck.
Baby Herman, the Baby Herman of it all is amazing as well. Like the fact that it's this like cute baby character, and then like, you know, it's you know, tough talking smoker. Like, I feel like that gag has now been done 4 or 5 times, but this is the first time that I've seen it in something, and it works so well. He has a human assistant, right? That is like, you know, vaguely sexist towards.
Ren and Stimpy did that a lot. Like,
that cartoon was a cartoon that we had no business watching, but it was Nickelodeon in the 90s, and I loved it.
We all watched it.
They had like a kind of similar animation style to a lot of that stuff, and like they did the same. They always put it like you know, they always put him in a diaper, and they had it like they're strolling around with him in like a stroller, and then
it's basically just an extension of the Baby Herman character, right?
Baby Herman has one of the 2 like direct quotes from the book, and it's 50-year-old lust trapped in a 3-year-old dinky.
It's not Song of the South. Dumbo's where the crows are from. They got changed from stereotypical clothing and stereotypical speaking voice of African Americans to actual cartoon characters with suits and ties and no dialogue.
So much racism back in the early cartoons. Like, my God. Like, I mean, like I remember watching an old like Hassan Piker stream where he was going over like how racist a lot of the Disney cartoons were in like the 30s and 40s, and I'm like, yeah.
It's the hummingbirds, by the way, that are Song in the South. I got, you know, bird, like I get my birds confused in this world.
Oh, you're not an expert in bird law, Forrest?
This chat doesn't play when it comes time to cartoon fact checks.
Yeah.
But the crows and Dumbo are literally called Jim Crow. Like that's the name.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but then it makes perfect sense with the segregation of it all, right? Like it's they're playing on the instruments because it's like they're in a segregated part of Los Angeles, like, or like they're like the weird, like the one weirdly.
Well, it's like the jazz club. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, it's like they'll allow you to play, but you got to get out when
Yeah, and Betty Boop's the waitress. Like,
right.
Which
is interesting that early on Eddie Valiant, it's the one toon character that he doesn't like immediately just like be angry towards his Betty Boop. So that's always kind of interesting.
They seem to have a history.
Well,
they have.
That's what I was driving at. Yeah. I mean, it was like,
So they.
Well, shout out to that voice, Mae Questel, who was also Aunt Bethany in Christmas Vacation.
And she's the original person who did the voice of Betty Boop too, and it was like her last role.
Yeah, and also
right?
Betty Boop is actually a woman of color. A lot of people forget that little detail.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that's one thing I remember when they had Boop the musical recently on Broadway, and everyone's like, "She's not white."
I can't forget that because I didn't know it, but now I know. So.
I was, and people were like, "Who's not white?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh wow!
Mae Questel's also Olive Oil in Pompeye.
That's right. Yep.
And her final role. Do you know what it is? After this, a year after this,
was it Christmas Vacation?
Aunt Bethany in Christmas Vacation. She's the aunt that's senile.
So that's her actual final role. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah. But this is her final voice, like her voice, her second, like whatever, like because in that obviously she's just kind of sitting there.
See, like I feel like AI could come in handy with like older voice actors from back in the day, but then also too at the same time there's a lot of people who've studied and practiced real hard to sound a lot like, but you can tell it sounds a little too, I guess with today's technology, a lot of the cartoon voices sound a little too clean,
Well, I mean, it's interesting too, like the fact that I mean, obviously Mel Blanc's last role, but pretty much everybody that was one of the I mean, obviously, like, Walt Disney was dead at this point, and this is like the second generation of Mickey Mouse voice, the second generation of Minnie Mouse voice, the second generation, and like we're way past that now.
Yeah, so I mean, Jim Cummings taking over Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. So it's like Wayne. It's like Wayne.
Jim Cummings did what to Winnie the Pooh? I didn't catch that.
He took over for Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Oh bother.
So there's like a whole crew of Rusty Taylor as Minnie Mouse,
replacements.
Tony Anselmo. Yeah, they're the second generation characters. But I mean, I feel like Mickey Mouse has such and Donald Duck, like they have such iconic voices that it's like you can train yourself. I think you can train yourself to do that probably more than you can train yourself to be Mel Blanc or one of the Mel Blanc voices.
Or like sound like too much. Like a lot of people don't like Matthew Lillard's Shaggy. They say it sounds too straining compared to Casey Kasem, and I'm like, well, I mean, when Frank Welker dies, who's going to voice Fred? I think Freddie Prinze Jr. should. He does voiceover work too.
Yeah,
I mean, look at
another.
He's still waiting to be asked in to do Star Wars. It was a pretty freaking important role, and like
do not fuck with Freddie Prinze Jr. when it comes to like Star Wars lore, because he's like, you motherfuckers don't know what the fuck you're like. I've heard him on podcasts, and I'm like, this dude knows his shit.
Well, and he's,
another big
that's
person, by the way, who was
he plays an important character in Star Wars too, and then anyway, largely forgotten in the Rebels shit.
Another person that was kind of set up, I think, within this to be like kind of a Looney Tunes background character, Yo-Yo Dodo, but also was the Toon Shoe when the shoe gets dissolved massive.
Yeah.
Nancy Cartwright, aka Bart Simpson. And during when he gets onto the trolley, I remember hearing it's the Dodo, but I was like I hear like what is Bart in this? It's the 1940s. Why is Bart here in my head? And I was like, shit, like Nancy Cartwright is one of the background, like one of the background Looney Tunes kind of people that they had set up for this kind of world.
Yeah, it's like all the women who would voice like young male boy characters in the 90s and early 2000s. It's like, oh, that person voiced Dexter, this person voiced Jimmy Neutron. Like it's a whole like, whoa. I mean, Tara Strong still to this day voices a lot of characters, and it's like it's funny seeing her do multiple characters in a single show. Like
Pamela Alden does Bobby Hill.
Bobby Hill,
she does that voice, and I always forget that because like now in my head she's so iconic as her own kind of roles, right? Like as live action roles, and then in my head like she did Better Things or whatever, like that series that she did with Mikey Madison as her daughter, and she's doing voice acting. She's doing voice acting all the time, and she's doing all these voices, and she tries to make them distinct from Bobby Hill, but Bobby Hill creeps into like all the voices that she does in that show as like a bit.
Well, in that way, that's like when you make an iconic character, it's kind of hard to get away from that.
Yeah.
Anyway. We could go on and on about just like cartoon voicing, I'm sure, for the entire show, but we should get into the plot points of tonight's movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Right. This is a good one. Yeah, I did not realize for years this was based on a book, by the way. Like, I didn't know, and I still haven't read it. That's a great story with a beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah, one of my mods and chatters knows someone. I think she knows someone. I think she knows someone who knows the guy who wrote the book, or she's related to the guy who wrote the book. And I'm like, wait, what?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wait. She jumped into the chat earlier when we were talking, and she said it was something like her family knows the guy. But yeah. In 1947, cartoon characters, commonly called toons. That's a slur today. You can't use it. Cartoon characters.
You can't say toon today. It's cartoon American.
Who act out cartoons the same way the human actors make live production. Toons interact freely with humans and live in Toontown, an area near Hollywood, not quite Hollywood, California. Private Detective Eddie Valiant, once a staunch ally of the Toons alongside his brother and coworker Teddy, has become a depressed alcoholic. Following an unknown toon 5 years earlier. RK Maroon is the human owner of the Maroon Toon Studios. Roger Rabbit is a fun-loving toon rabbit, one of Maroon's stars. Roger's wife, Jessica, is a gorgeous toon woman, and Baby Herman is Roger's co-star, a 50-year-old toon who looks like an infant. Marvin Acme is the practical joke-loving owner of Toontown and Acme Corporation. Maroon is upset about recently poor performance of his toon star Roger Rabbit. Believes this might be because Jessica's affair. Roger has already put the latest Baby Herman cartoon over budget by $25,000.
So
I'll start off here. I love that. I mean, that's basically a classic noir setup, right? I mean, this is like full on. The only thing that's different is their cartoons. And it's all played very seriously. Like, you know, it's like the characters are the characters.
It's like a Christmas Carol from the Muppets Christmas Carol, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Where it's played straight, but it's all like, this is classic noir setup, especially for around this time, you know. And I love every part of it and how it all unfolds. You know, it's great. You get to know the characters early on. You know, Roger's distracted. He's his birdies instead of stars, and like that's obviously ruins.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love that they can somehow like make that happen in their mind or whatever. Like which things that they get.
It's because his head isn't in the game. Great.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Love it. So, Mike, you got anything to add for that piece of the plot? You can just jump right in. We do.
No, I mean, Eddie Valiant, I think, is just a perfect detective down on his luck kind of character, I think. And Bob Hoskins. People say this about characters all the time, but I don't think anybody could have done that role the way he did it. I listened to the commentary, and on the commentary, they were talking about how open he was to all that, because he had to do all those movements and stuff, sometimes with nothing next to him. And
this is probably before they had like tennis balls on sticks.
Yeah. Definitely not. Yeah, I mean they had like wires that have guns on it, and those are the weasels. And they were like moving them around. And he's a theatrical actor, right? He's a serious actor. And he treated it seriously, which is what you got to do.
It was Industrial Light and Magic that was doing this too, and they'd only done I think 2 CGI movies pretty much before this. And like this isn't obviously CGI, but this is like a combination of early CGI and actual animation cells. They kind of did both at the same time. Yeah. So they're like
this
working
is pre-Jurassic Park, so it was still like they were still getting it together basically.
They said 2.5 dimensional pretty much is the term they use, because the shadow, the lighting, the shadow, and everything like that is CGI, but the actual like animations are animations.
Which it's way later in the plot summary, but there's a great shadow gag like in the back third of the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like there's a lot of great gags where it's like but it's a visual of like you see the shadow being on the like the big wall, right? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good little throwaway gag. It's good.
It's also, I love that he's pretty much grappling with toon phobia.
Yeah.
At this point, like this,
it's a real thing apparently.
Maroon hires private detective.
Tunist, you'd be tunist if that was like. Thank you. All right.
To investigate rumors that Jessica's having an affair. Eddie and his brother Teddy used to be friends with the toon community, but Eddie has hated them and drinking heavily since his brother Teddy was killed by a toon a few years earlier. When Valiant claims he doesn't work in Toontown, Maroon tells him that Jessica performs at a club in Los Angeles called the Ink and Paint Club. Love the name. Valiant accepts the assignment for $100, of which Maroon pays $50 up front, and the other half promise upon completion of the assignment. Thoughts on the
got stuff to do, got people to see, places to be. You know,
he needs to take the case. You know, and it's something where he's like overcoming the his Toonist tendencies. To do so. There we go. Yo, that's Toonist. Exactly. That would be made today.
Talk about a scene where as a kid, you just don't even think about it when they're playing patty cake at the ink and paint.
Oh yeah,
show, and it's like obvious what it is.
Oh, right. Right. Okay. Yeah.
This was really PG, right?
It was
crazily.
See, PG movies back then are not the same as PG movies today. PG movies today might as well be rated G. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Makes me mad.
After watching Jessica perform at the Ink and Paint Club, Eddie secretly photographs her and Acme playing patty cake. I love this bit so much. Acme playfully squirts ink on Eddie's shirt, which infuriates the private eye until it's revealed that the ink is disappearing ink. Oh, it's it's Chekhov's ink. You all right? Like
it is Chekhov's ink. Yeah. Dumbo is outside the window and Valiant meets the head of the studio. That's true. That's another good cameo.
Balloon throws him a couple peanuts.
He jumps back and he's like, but he jumps back, and it's the two things that it sets it up that like, oh well, all these characters are on loan pretty much to his studio, but also it sets it up so that he's exploiting the fuck out of them. He's like, I can play the peanuts. Like,
you probably could get away with doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit again, considering every studio's buying the other one out to make one giant conglomerate. So it's like.
But it wouldn't be the same. They would use like freaking CGI, and it would even Zemeckis would. But yeah, it is funny that I pay him in peanuts. You know, that's a joke that works on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Right?
And isn't it part of Dumbo too that like it's fucked up how like they keep paying him at like actually at the zoo or whatever, they're like throwing peanuts at him. Yeah, so it's kind of they're still doing like the.
That's kind of what is it bigotry against elephants called?
Elephantitis? No, wait, that's not it. Whoa. sound off in the chat. You want to
Trunkophobic? I don't know.
Pachyophobia.
So you get the setup right. He's going to work the case, but he like doesn't really want to. He doesn't like working with toons, and like clearly there's been some trauma in his past, and it's kind of only alluded to.
Oh well, get over it.
Early
it's
on,
cartoons.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you really like they do set it up if you're really paying attention. Which if you're kind of just looking in the corner, like doing something else on your phone or something, like you're not going to see it. But they have the brother. He has like a little shrine to his brother essentially on the desk. Like he hasn't taken the brother's desk away. Like he's deeply like traumatized by this because his brother is like his partner and his best friend, and like so you really do. And his brother seems like the one that was a lot more like amenable to the toons, and he's like kind of he seems like he wasn't necessarily the like lead brother, right? Like it's like when a lead character in a movie or something gets killed and like the sidekick essentially has to do it.
False protagonist, we see it all the time,
Well, looking at some of the like they pan through some of the pictures and stuff, and he's looking at the photos. Yeah, and maybe it is a little later, but it's I think it just broke him. Obviously, I mean I think he did love the toons, and he loved doing what he did with his brother. Drunkest.
All right, chat comes through again. All right, and
for this episode,
and I feel like that's a trope too, right? It's like it's the private detective that has the storied past, right? And it's done so well here, and it's something where again that's why when you did like F. Murray Abraham, aka Amadeus' chief hater, it's like okay that'd be cool, but that's a totally different movie. Yeah. Like, and I agree. I think, Bob Hoskins is the perfect guy to play this, which is hilarious because I didn't realize he wasn't that guy
and
for
I realized
years.
He wasn't British.
Yeah. And I was like, I hear it. And he's like, oh, jolly good, mate, blood. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He's
also Mark Addy.
I went today, like, I knew that. And I went from watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit to then watching an interview with him. And I still was like, oh, because he's like, boy.
And same with Mark Addy, because he's always playing, like, I remember I think he did that one show called Still Standing for a few seasons. And then I watched him on Game of Thrones. And I was like, what? I'm like, whoa, he's not from Jersey or something? What happened?
Well, he's not a tough guy. That's the thing. So go ahead.
I thought Bob Hoskins because like I'd watched Roger Rabbit and then I watched Hook a ton also.
Oh,
and he has that real Cockney pirate accent, and I just thought, oh, he's doing this crazy British accent.
I watched Mermaids too with Cher. What a pairing!
I'd also seen the Super Mario Brothers movie. So in that movie he has the same Eddie Valiant. But at the time, I was. But so in the Super Mario Brothers movie, traumatized by the Goomba tiny heads, by the way, because I had seen Beetlejuice around the same time.
He's in Brazil too, as well. One of my favorite.
What movies have
Terry Gilliam was
gonna...
Forrest? I mean, I don't know, a lot of movies I watched back then.
Here we go. Stevie saying Bob Hoskins was also the best Mario. I don't know about that, but that's also a low bar. Sorry, peace and love.
I mean,
to the
better
Mario lovers,
than Chris Pratt. I'm just
Chris
saying.
Pratt. Yeah.
I mean, Charlie.
It's good.
Mario.
It's good as Luigi. I will say that. That's a good casting choice.
Prayers out for Super Mario. Thank you.
Eddie shows the pictures to Roger, who becomes distraught and flees, refusing to believe Jessica was unfaithful. This makes him the main suspect when Acme is found murdered the next day at the Acme Gag Factory, which is the crime scene. Eddie meets Judge Doom and his Toon patrol of weasel henchmen. You know the guy's going to end up being a good guy when he has a patrol of weasel henchmen.
Yeah.
You know, that's always a great sign for the guy. He's like,
we get Chekhov's
the Maniacs had existed before when this movie came out.
Yeah, Chekhov's bourbon's there as well.
Bourbon,
yeah,
where Roger gets his drink and he goes, sky high.
Yeah, goes berserk like he has the reaction he does, which is great.
Wait, he does. He does. I completely forgot that I had it queued up earlier. Wait, hold on. He goes.
Oh, the soundboard. Okay. And the whole thing of it plays off of the endemic sexism of Jessica Rabbit, of course she's unfaithful, she's hot, and he's with him, like that whole thing, which is set up early on, and there's a great payoff with that, later on. I mean, multiple points, but
and then
I think that's a good one.
The scene before he goes to his old lieutenant comes, that Lieutenant Santini, and just because I want to do this, my Bond connection. This is my James Bond connection. The guy that played Lieutenant Santini, Richard Laparmentier. He was in Octopussy. Very small role in Octopussy, but he was like that's one of the worst ones where James Bond dresses like a clown, but he's one of like the army guys. But that guy also is the guy from the first Star Wars movie that Vader's choking because the guy is taunting him about his sorcerer's ways.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. The guy mouthing off to Darth Vader. Who can forget? That happened once.
Yeah. Never do it again. You've learned your lesson, right?
But then from then on, no one mouths off to Darth Vader, and they still all get the same treatment.
Yeah, and he's still well, Darth Vader's a toxic workplace situation at the Death Star.
Summer, I remember I was counting how many times it happened. Because I was going to file an HR complaint. Toon Patrol includes their leader, Mario. The names of
that's the Disney Plus spin-off series, by the way. It's the Death Star, but it's the HR department, and it's all just complaints against Vader.
Yeah, it's kind of like the SNL sketch they did with Adam Driver, almost.
Yeah.
Toon Patrol includes their leader, Smartass, Stupid, Greasy, Psycho, and Wheezy, Lil Wayne. Although Toons are impervious to physical abuse, Doom has discovered that they can be killed by submerging them in a mixture of chemical solvents, acetone, benzene, and turpentine. He refers to as dip. He demonstrates this to Valiant. I thought dip was you put it in here and then
yeah, right. What type of dip
he demonstrates this
to here?
We're not talking about Baz Luhrmann here. Go on, move on.
Just don't get the only way to kill Toons is to get them addicted to chewing tobacco. Right. He demonstrates this to Valiant by lowering a living cartoon shoe into a drum of dip until it dissolves, leaving only a smear of paint floating on top. I remember being so sad about that.
Horrifying.
Yeah. Well,
horror of the eyes.
Like, horrifying. This. Oh, what wasn't horrifying? Well, just watching a cartoon shoe get murdered.
Yeah, and you see like the animator does they do such a great job with the eyes, and you see it like it's in peril, and it's like, oh my god, this is like very intense. Like it's intense to watch it now, but I watch it when I was
it's like when a dog dies in a movie. It's like when a cartoon dies in a 2D live action ish cartoon, you gotta be sad too.
And
you know?
It's like perfectly like that because the shoe literally goes up to him and is like kind of snuggling his where his foot is because it's a shoe, and then he just picks it up and then the shoe realizes what's about to happen.
Well, and establishes the stakes, right? That there is a way to kill Toons, permanently. Because before it's like, oh well,
and not with an eraser.
They go with all this, they can go through anything and like they just pop right back as long as it's funny, right? And here's a situation where it's like, no, that's like very real stakes for very surreal characters.
I do love that Acme factory though, because you get all kinds
great.
of you get all kinds of Chekhov's devices there too. You get the Chekhov hole, the
Portable
hole. in the
hole.
wall.
I
Yeah.
wanted one so bad. I was like,
Yeah.
I want a portable hole.
You get the hammer.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
both come up later. But yeah,
The
that's-
singing
Well,
sword.
it's
the
that's
magnet.
Yeah.
it's hilarious because same thing with Acme. That bit is done Wile E. Coyote does that bit and Roadrunner.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
They do that bit
Yeah.
constantly. And it's always the They always have like an Acme case and they open it up and they have the hole and they put the hole there and then they take the hole off and like do it with paint. There's the Roadrunner bit where he does one of those holes, but Roadrunner does it with paint.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, classic.
Well, hence Coyote versus Acme, right? But that's a different discussion.
yeah.
That movie's coming out. I can't wait. I'm excited.
I will watch it.
Rogers' Toons co-star Baby Herman believes Rogers innocent and suggests to Eddie that Acme's missing will, supposedly bequeaths Toontown to the Toons, may have been the killer's true motive. If the will is not found by midnight, Toontown will be sold to Cloverleaf Industries. I like that corporation name, which recently then they sell the dip because they're a giant tobacco company. Which recently bought the Pacific Electric system of trolley cars. One of Eddie's photos shows the will in Acme's pocket, proving Baby Herman's claim. Pretty much immediately, he looks at the photo and he's like, "Hey, wait a second, the will."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had all these
This-
Chekhov's
this-
devices, and now we got our MacGuffin, which is the will.
exactly, yes. And and then we shortly get introduced to Dolores, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I think that it's you establish that whoever the killer, like what the motive would be, right? And that's a classic noir trope as well. It's like, oh, okay, like
If they
he's got this
remade
well.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit today, it would be like 3D animators doing all the killings of these 2D animators.
Or they'd have like the evil AI company that's gonna come and. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Christopher Lloyd's still around. He could just come back.
Nice.
I mean, he can. I don't think, knock on wood, that man ain't ever gonna die.
It could be a Tron, like they put Who Framed Roger Rabbit into the AI, and like Judge Doom is reborn.
Like the fact he
I'm
was
just
in-
giving this away for free, but
like the
I
fact
hope
that
they
he was
don't.
in Seasons Wednesday. It's like, wow, look at that little Addams Family reunion. Literally.
I dipped out on it, and it looked too CGI to me. Ironically, that's the reason why I was enjoying it. I was like, this is ugly. Sorry, peace and love to the Wednesday lovers.
Sadly, he died. Spoiler alert.
And what happened
Eddie
to him?
returns
He
to the
died.
office. If you
took
if you
away
have
his power
sex, you'll get
source.
pregnant and die. So
By the way, you could tell me that what I just pitched was the plot of Tron Ares, and I'd believe you because I'm never going to watch that. Maybe it is. I don't
Eddie
know.
returns to his office and finds Roger hiding there. Roger insists he has been framed. I've been framed. Eddie reluctantly agrees to help after finding evidence of Acme's will. Roger explains after he got upset about the pictures, he went to the Ink and Paint Club to see Jessica, not finding her in a dressing room. He wrote her a love letter on a piece of paper that was lying around. I love that the letter starts, how many ways do I love you? Let me count the ways or whatever. And they keep quoting that as like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
he waited
It's
for her
like
to appear,
1,000,
but
2 1,000, so on
Yeah.
and so on. That's great.
What a love story,
but when the weasel showed up looking for him, he took the love letter and ran away. Eddie wonders why Roger would come to him, seeing as how he took the pictures of Roger's wife. Roger explains because of Eddie's past career of helping Toons. He doesn't know about the Toon phobia problem. Eddie hides Roger in a bar, attended by his girlfriend Dolores. There she is, Joanna Cassidy. She allows them to both into a hidden room at the rear of the restaurant. She tells them that he believes that Acme's death was a setup by R.K. Maroon, and that Maroon wants to get control of Toontown. See, that part I think is the perfect MacGuffin. It's like that setting that up to be like.
Well, it's an extension of who's going to get the land rights, right?
Yeah.
Again, Chinatown invoked, but we get a couple things here. We get, first of all, that this prior relationship with Dolores is sort of like that speaks volumes to where he's at, which is to say that he's more into drinking than living like a regular life or having any sense of
I feel
happiness.
you, pal.
And then you also are in a situation where ultimately, again, being like a segregation analog, like Roger Rabbit knows that, like, the Valiant agency is like they'll work with Toons. That's not the case for every detective, right? And so that's sort of like he has to go to, and like, boy, isn't that an analog for like anybody that's not like a straight white person around these 1940s, right?
You'll work with Toons, but it won't work for a Toon.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I don't mind being around them, but I'm just not gonna work for one of them.
That's Toonist.
They have a long history of trying to pay you in fake paper. After taking a shower,
or money that runs away when it's funny to do so. Yeah.
Eddie emerges to find Jessica is coming to the office. You know, he's like, I
sure does.
Asking for help finding Roger. Jessica tells Eddie that Maroon threatened Roger's career unless she posed for the compromising photos with Acme. Dolores shows up. Dolores shows up and explains that Eddie's theory is incorrect.
and says the classic line that is my subtitle: "Dabbling in watercolors, Eddie."
Nice.
It's also where you get the second line from the actual book, which is "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way."
Yep.
Which is like one of the lines that people remember the most from this movie. Which is
I'm on the right paper, baby. I was drawn this way.
Nice. I feel bad for Bob Hoskins because they were talking about the in the commentary about how like one of the notes from the higher ups was like, "Can you remove some of that hair that's on Bob Hoskins?" They thought it was fake.
And it's his actual chest hair. It's amazing.
He was very hot in his love scenes with Cher and mermaids. I remember that.
Mermaids.
They're getting confused. Yeah. They're getting confused with Bob Hoskins and the gorilla bar, like the fucking bouncer. They're like, which one's the star of the movie again? Dolores shows up and explains that Eddie's theory is incorrect. Dolores shows up. Maroon appears to have no intentions of obtaining Toontown. According to the probate, a company called Cloverleaf Industries put a bid for the rights to Toontown, and at midnight they'll have ownership unless Acme's will turns up. It also happens that Cloverleaf Industries recently claimed ownership of the red car trolley line, the only trolley line around.
That's right.
Clang,
we
trolley.
Yeah, exactly. Meet me in St. Louis.
Oh, speaking of that, another line that I wanted to that I completely forgot that I wanted to say, and then I put a mental note. I should probably do. Well, actually, I did write it in a physical note, but I never look at them. I write them and then don't look at them. The line is, "What do you know about show business?" And he's like, it's. I know there's no business like it. It's the only one I know.
Great. I didn't really get it as a kid, but I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's very funny. You know, that's a great line.
I had there's no business like, oh, all right, let's.
There's no business like show business. It's my good.
Wait, what?
I can do better.
Do you take two on that? Yeah,
huh?
Exactly. just what the audience craves. That Ethel Merman is only okay. Can we do it again?
Hey, people want me to sing, and I'll do it.
Save it for the after party, kid.
What? Now I can't remember what movie it was. I feel like we talked about it recently, where he's like, oh, the guy in the next stall thinks he's Ethel Merman, and it really is Ethel Merman. There's no.
Oh,
there's only a movie called "There's No Business Like Show Business." I think that's where the song comes from, but I don't think.
Yeah, but it's referenced in whatever something we saw recently. It doesn't matter. So again, the MacGuffin continues.
Oh, airplane!
On, right?
Airplane! It's when he's in the hospital.
Airplane.
Yeah. He's in the hospital and airplane, and then he's like, oh, don't worry. The guy in the next booth thinks he's Ethel Merman. It is Ethel Merman. No, there's no business.
No. There's no business like show business. It's so easy to hear her voice.
Eddie and Dolores return to the restaurant. Doom and the Toon Patrol find Roger, but he and Eddie escape with help from Benny, a Toon taxi cab. Sheltering in a local movie theater, Eddie sees the newsreel of Maroon selling his studio to Cloverleaf and finally makes the connection. Roger, who has grown up perplexed at Eddie's attitude, asks what happened to turn him into such a sourpuss. Sourpuss? My brother was killed by a Toon.
Don't be such a sourpuss.
Oh no, a Toon! Don't a Toon!
Gotta say, I forgot how much I loved the Toon Taxi. What a great character, man! Like that character rules. Benny is so good.
Also voiced by Fleischer, the voice of Roger Rabbit. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, he's so good. Just like if there's a breakout character, it should have been him. You never see him cast these days, and it's sad. I thought for sure we'd see him in Cars, but no, I guess he was too old.
See, that should have been the joke that Kristina responded to, but
Yeah.
So the part with
brought up
Roger
Cars, the
when they
last
went
one.
the part where they go back into the bar, I really like that part just because Roger's sitting there entertaining all these barflies, and you got that Angelo guy that was seems like he's going to be a jerk the whole time, and then they go hide in the back, and Doom comes in with the dip, and that's where that Harvey line is, and it's just funny because it was like why one of the themes of this with Roger, they asked Jessica, why do you like him and stuff like that. Well, he makes me laugh. So there's hope for people that make people laugh.
It's such a great response, and it's perfect, and it's so cinematic too. It's like, again, echoing down all of these great noir characters and femme fatales and whatnot, and like turning that around in a way that's like, oh yeah, that's yeah, and again, hope for the funny people too. But yeah, that scene's great. He's playing the record, merry-go-round broke down, and like it skips, and he's doing the routine, and he's skipping while it's skipping. There's a lot of good visual humor that happens with that. There's that great part that's in the intro too.
Yeah, that's one of those scenes where they had the practical effects, because for those plates they had to have like a device that lifted them and dropped them, and then they threw over it. Yeah,
and she's getting super pissed because those are her plates. It's like, hey, cut that out, which is great. Yeah, and again, just a great visual gag, right? An old school like vaudevillian style visual gag, and. That hideout's great, like what's got like the peephole that's like you get the two eyes. and then how about when Doom lures him out at shaving a haircut because he knows that he can't not complete the bit, which is like being on this show, by the way.
Yeah. And with the video compilations of
falling.
Conan trying to parrot Kristina and Forrest for 2 hours straight,
and then you get Roger trying to be like any last requests, I don't know, nose plugs. Great. And then you had Chekhov's drink earlier, and that comes in as like, oh you wouldn't want him to last request, he gets drink, and it's like I don't want it. It's like, you do, I don't. You do. I don't. You don't. I do. Like, it's such a ridiculous cartoon turnaround on it, and it works so great. Of course, he drinks it, and
which in that moment you get that he's like, it's not just that he was willing to work with Toons. It's like he has he knows deep kind of psychological psychological connection to the Toontown thing, which makes it all the more heartbreaking. The piano falls on his brother.
Yeah, and it's shown, not told. Too, which we always talk about in this show about when a movie really is doing it well.
You get that little foreshadowing moment with Doom where the dip gets topped over, and you can see Doom backing away really quickly from it.
And backing up. It also kind of reminds me of that one episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where I think it was a piano that almost fell on Mac, and Frank's like, "Look out, Epsler," and he's like, "I'm the hero here. I didn't do a."
Oh yeah,
I didn't do hate crime.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
and they had to figure out who gets the check or whatever.
Yeah, that's the hero versus hate crime.
By
the way, I love that show's been around so long that they'll just do anything at this point, and it works. And it works. It's respect. Respect is always said in Philadelphia.
And they're all slowly becoming their characters too, which is like sad. Like they're all getting like different like fillers and like.
I love how they made fun of that.
Well, Rob McElhenney apparently wants to be called Rob Mac now, and he didn't inform his wife or kids about that, which is like, okay, dude.
I mean,
I don't know if this is a bit just like gaining and losing weight and not telling anybody, like ZZ Top style between seasons was.
He also he has
obtaining mass. Conan, remember that?
Well, sure, but
he has like a deeply pathetic and desperate Dennis and Max style friendship with Ryan Reynolds, where Ryan Reynolds like he's inviting him into movies and cuts him out of scenes and doesn't tell him for something like Dennis would totally do, and then he's like he has to tweet at him and be like, "Hey man, saw the movie, I'm not in it," and then he's like, "Oh man, sorry."
I do think it's funny the one episode from the last season they kind of poke fun at the fact that we point out like, "Hey, y'all getting fillers and veneers and shit like that," and they kept changing their appearances, and I'm like. They know.
We can save some of this for the after party. We don't have to do the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia breakdown right now. Psychoanalysis.
Oh, it's always sunny in Philadelphia. No, I really like you see why Roger Rabbit is such an appealing character as they're having the conversation where like it's so pathetic, but it's like while they're talking about how his brother was killed by a toon, and Roger Rabbit becomes so pathetic, and he's like, I would hate me too if I were you, and he's like I don't hate you, and he's like, well, then why do you grab my ears?
Yeah, don't always grab your ears.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm sorry for grabbing. Like I'm sorry for grabbing your ears, and he's like, oh yay!
All the times you grabbed my ears, all the times you grabbed my ears.
Yeah, he's like he's like I don't know, like in the way that like you know, a lot of like kind of rabbits are like they can kind of do that like kind of pathetic thing where they like flop down and it's like to get away from predators or like you know. Like,
it reminded me that I never watched that new Watership Down, and the other day I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not strong enough to watch that right now." Yeah, do not show Who Framed Roger. Do not show Roger Rabbit of Who Framed Roger Rabbit Watership Down.
Talk about
it'd be like showing him come and see, everybody. That's the joke. Thank you. All right, right back around.
I'm excited for this war movie. This movie's gonna be very exciting.
Nobody expected a come and see reference on Who Framed Roger Rabbit episode. Wow. Here we are.
I like that he's very excited whenever it's cartoons, but he's like, I hate the news. I don't want to watch the news on the newsreel. And it was like, many years ago, while investigating a robbery at the First National Bank of Toontown, Eddie and Teddy. When Eddie said he didn't like his Teddy, you knew he was a no good kid.
Man, we still have the Horror Picture Show, have we?
No.
Nope. We're chasing a guy who dropped the piano on from 13 stories up. The piano broke Eddie's arm, but killed Teddy. Eddie never did find out who the toon was, except that he had burning red eyes and a red squeaky and a high squeaky voice. I think when I was a kid, I thought that it was.
Hi, everybody.
I think when I was having like flashbacks to be a kid and seeing this. I think at one point I was like, "Is it going to be Roger Rabbit?" That's that accidentally like put a piano on his brother. Like I don't know. Like I knew it wasn't watching it this time around, but I remember just thinking like, "Oh no, it's going to be Roger Rabbit that accidentally killed his brother, isn't it?" Like. Like after having a drink, like I think that's what I thought it was gonna be, because his eyes do like flare up when he has a drink, and it's like he goes to have a drink and then he actually hits the piano and the piano falls on like the wrong way.
Oh, that was like an accidental death. Okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Roger feels terrible about this and sobs, but Eddie is justified in his hatred of him and Toons. And so he's like, I'd hate me too if I were you. Eddie placed a call to R.K. Maroon telling him he has the will. As a way to get in, when there's a will, there's a way. As a way to get in to see the studio owner. Arriving at the studios, Roger is told to stay by the car, probably for the best. While Eddie goes to the studio to interrogate Maroon, Jessica abducts Roger. Maroon explains to Eddie that Cloverleaf will not buy his studio unless they can also buy Acme's gag-making factory. His plan was to use the photos to blackmail Acme into selling. Maroon then goes on to try to explain more when suddenly gunfire erupts and Maroon is wounded. That like gun just kind of creeping in is a perfect noir thing too.
Mm-hmm.
The gun that goes through the open window.
Yeah.
I also like Roger Rabbit standing by the car and going, he's like, there's no way I'm getting away. I'll stand here until you come back. And then he just gets hit by the pan.
Yeah, like immediately.
Yeah.
I like the noir moment right before that with Eddie and Dolores in the theater, where he's like, you need to get yourself a good man. And she's like, I already have a good man. And it's just very, very noir-y. I like that. But yeah, that's because that's where Eddie finds out about the whole. He figures it out there because he's watching that newsreel, and he figures out what the plan is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because the news, the fake newsreel, which is great.
Yeah,
that's really well done.
Fake news. Just kidding.
By the way, oh no, not Patty Cake. This is my favorite, most feared kids movie way back when. I love when they actually show they actually show that it really is Patty Cake that they're playing. Like, because you think because you're like, oh yeah, Patty Cake, and then they're like,
They're actually
In the
doing
photos.
Patty cake.
Patty cakes. They're playing
sensual
patty
patty
cake.
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica was
Come and
enjoying
see.
it.
I want to snapshot.
Watership Down would be the come and see of Roger Rabbit's world. Yeah, that's what the bit was. Thank you, everybody. Lovely audience.
and then his like, I don't know. Like,
That joke
like,
kills on the Criterion Channel. Go ahead.
His version of like, I'm trying to think of like a movie about like the world's smartest guy, like Winnie the Pooh. He's like the rabbit's
Yeah.
like the wisest, like one of the smartest characters of that or whatever. And he's like,
Mhm.
see, there's a movie that we can all enjoy together. Yeah. Wait. So, however, wait, hold on. Before Maroon
So
could say
Jessica
more,
abducts
he's killed
Roger,
by-
right? So
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Before Maroon could say more, he's killed by an unseen assassin. And Eddie, well, you see his gun at least. It's like the world's longest gun. And Eddie sees Jessica fleeing the scene, thinking that she's the killer. Eddie pursues her into Toontown. What do you guys think of like? I love that like he stops at the thing and realizes like, all right, I have to go into Toontown, and they go in, and it's like it's such a completely different world. And
Well,
apparently,
it's Wizard of Oz like, right?
Yeah.
yeah, because they're all singing that song isn't just from this, right? It's like I've heard that song.
I don't know. But you got like all everyone's dancing and like it's just like this like crazy like it's Wizard of Oz style as far as like the prestige of it all. And he ditches his alcohol as well, which is also notable for a character
using his dum dum gun, which
That's
my
right.
wife got me a shirt that has dum dums. I got this
Oh,
for my
fantastic.
birthday. That's the dum dums.
Yeah, the anthropomorphized bullets are fantastic. They each have their own personality and like lived
They're
experience.
Yosemite Sam's. They're Yosemite Sam's bullets.
Yeah.
And it's another moment where you get to see you get to see his deep connection to this world. There's a signed insignia, and it's like, "Thanks for getting me out of trouble, partner, Yosemite Sam." And like,
and they all the bullets greet him as a friend, and how great is that when we see like the jaded private dick who's like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back to violence, and like the gun greets him as a friend. Like, no, they're literally greeting him as a friend. The bullets are.
Yeah.
It's so good.
They all ask him, "Where you been, Eddie?" And he's like, "Drunk."
Yeah.
Relatable.
He's not wrong. But yeah, real quick, back to the transition to Toontown. I mean, to me, it is very much a Wizard of Oz style homage, right? Where it's like it's like black and white to Technicolor. It's like he's in Toontown now, and he wrecks the car almost immediately. By the way, which is also hilarious.
Or you get another great gag where the truck that he hits, it says Acme overused gags.
Yeah, great. And they're spilled all over the street. It's awesome. There's a few movies I saw this year that had that same gag. They just didn't know it.
Also, they have the bit where Jessica Rabbit goes, "Oh, my honey's he's a great guy, but he can't drive that well."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very good.
It's like, I feel you, buddy. Like, he's listen, love the guy, not great at driving.
Not great at. He's great at many things. Driving, not one of them. Yeah.
Oh, just get in the car. I'll drive us there.
So it's important to note too that at this point, Eddie's very convinced that Jessica's the assailant, right? That Jessica's the murderer. So it's
always the femme fatale types that get accused, huh?
It's the whole noir thing, right? I mean, that's why some people are like, oh, it's a sexist genre. It's like, well, there's a lot of sexist genres, but
Yeah.
We
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there's a lot of them.
We gotta help the dames, but some of this goes to Maltese Falcon. Speaking of like MacGuffins and stuff, because it's like we were talking earlier about how his brother's his partner, and like he has to, it's such a devastating thing for him. I mean, in Maltese Falcon, he doesn't even like his partner. He hates his partner. In fact, he thinks his partner is like the worst. Yeah. But still, he has that great speech where he goes, "When your partner dies, you're supposed to do something. It doesn't matter if you liked him or not. You're supposed to do something." And that's one of those great Humphrey Bogart speeches. Like it kind of rings in my ear. They had the idea of having the Looney Tunes Humphrey Bogart as making a cameo, along with like a lot of the other.
Oh my God, which we've referenced so often on this show. We referenced the Key Largo. We talked about him. We talked about it, and Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Like that would have been amazing. That would have been Maltese Falcon.
I sometimes
It's me,
forget
I'm
that
multi-
that before voicing Roger Rabbit, Charles was in A Nightmare on Elm Street as like the sleep doctor. I'm like, talk about a range, am I right?
Yeah. Exactly.
If you like seeing Kristina dressed kind of Jessica Rabbity, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe to the Movie Night Show.
Eyes are up here.
Nice booby trap.
That is,
By the way, I laughed so hard. But I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's such a good gag.
boobies.
Hee hee.
I wonder when Bob Hoskins has his regular voice. There's no way he says boobies. I wonder what he calls. He's like, look at those yams, mate. Look at those.
Yams. I like that yams is what you settled on. That's great.
Oh,
I think you know why. Because I just watched Sorry Baby when he's like, what you think when I was growing up I thought I looked like a yam with a face on it or whatever.
Yeah.
The John
That's
Carroll
right.
Lynch line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a great movie. Ava Victor. That's a good one.
I watched it twice in the week.
Yeah, it's
And then
pretty
it was-
stunning for a
and then was-
debut. I mean, yeah.
And then was
Go
way
ahead.
behind on the doing stuff for this because I watched it twice.
He's watching Sorry Baby again. I don't know.
I'm watching it backwards. It's gonna be Baby Sorry.
There you go. It's the tenet of Ava Victor movies. Okay, go ahead. Tenet, everybody.
Memento, but it's Sorry Baby.
Yeah, Tenet's better because Tenet it's like time travel stuff backwards.
I know.
I'm not gonna explain it to you. Go ahead. Let's move on.
However, the bullet, all right. After a series of madcap hijinks through the Toon City. By the way, where we get him falling off a building, and then we get Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse.
Tweety Bird, first of all, attempted murderer, Tweety Bird. Can we just give it a shout out?
I thought, but he did.
He just ran out of pities. I mean, that's all it was.
Yeah, that's it.
We get a little cameo from Droopy as the
Tweety Bird did nothing wrong. Oh, Droopy is the elevator operator. So great. Yeah.
Droopy Dog's one of my favorite, just straight up characters from anything. Like that voice and everything, like was like I don't know, like I can't even do it off the top of my head, but I love the voice, I love the face, and I just whenever I see him in something, I'm like I love
well,
that
we also get the great, like, he thinks it's Jessica Rabbit, but it's the other character. Man, that
Lena Hyena.
yeah.
Makes me
I like
makes me want to get a Basset Hound so bad.
when they when they describe the I'm trying to find it.
Tweety Bird's always giving low key serial killer vibes. I don't know, sociopath at least. I don't know about serial killer.
What about Sylvester the Cat? Come on now.
Sylvester, yeah.
Fucker,
we can
suckering
psychoanalyze Tweety and Sylvester later. All right, I'm just saying.
Suckering sociopath. There's I'm trying to find where they described it in this, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll just go to this. But Lena Hyena, they had a great description in on like the Wikipedia where it was like an unattractive toon human who Eddie mistakes for Jessica. So there's
Lena Hyena. Yeah.
There's always one that
well, and that's June Foray, who also did like Rocky the Flying Squirrel and like some stuff in Cinderella and a couple Warner Brothers characters like the Granny, I think in
Tiny Toons.
I think so. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Well, and Looney Tunes before
remember that
also.
run of like baby Muppet Babies, Tiny Toons, just babyfied versions of our beloved characters. And
by the way, I'm sure Looney Tunes is going to snap correct me if I'm wrong about that. So I'm almost worried that I got that wrong.
I feel like part of my personality was formed by Muppet Babies because they're always doing the movie parodies. It's like they're clearly just so based off of every movie or whatever. I remember they did a Star Wars one. I watched that. So Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse. That's where you get those at flying through the sky, and they don't have a parachute. And he's like, "What's up, Doc?" And he's like, he says he's gonna hand him something, and then he hands him like a tire so that he actually falls through.
Oh, the spare. Oh, you want the spare? You sure you want the spare? And it's a spare tire. Yeah, great. I mean that's
the classic ain't I a stinker?
Yeah.
Ain't I stinker?
And of course, there was the whole thing that if to use the Warner Brothers and Disney characters, they both have to be on screen at the same time with the same amount of screen time. We actually went past we
went past the Daffy Duck.
Daffy and Donald.
They also have to be equally talented. Like the reason that they're doing the dueling pianos is that they actually said so one can't you can't because I think they were afraid that they were gonna make like the I'm trying to think of a better word for a maroon. They're gonna make the Warner Brothers
one would be the butt of the joke, and then
what's interesting though too about like Daffy Duck is that Daffy Duck suffers from the character getting lobotomized. Like you know how some characters are intelligent, but then something happens and they get lobotomized.
I've known some Lena hyenas in my life. Let me tell you.
But like, I feel like Daffy Duck suffered from this because when I was watching, the recent Looney Tunes movie, I'm like, why is Daffy Duck like a chaotic dumbass? Like he's not like this in the old Looney Tunes cartoons. Like they must have lobotomized him in the last like decade or so.
Okay. Guess I missed that one. Yeah.
They did it to Ariana Grande in the Victoria show. Cat Valentine was actually very smart and sassy, but then they made her dumb for some reason.
Daffy Duck wears no pants, and I respect it.
He also likes to show crack.
One flew over the duck's nest. Lobotomized him at the end of it.
There you go. That would be.
Hey, the guy that I follow on TikTok who does a good Hugh Jackman impression did a good cover of No Good Deed from Wicked for Good as Donald Duck, and it was phenomenal. I couldn't stop laughing.
I just the other morning after we streamed a couple days in a row, my brain was just shot, and I think like I had a drink or something, and I sent the video of Donald Duck trying to tell you about your warranty.
It's a good game. All right, let's get back on the cartoon train here.
Yeah. So, thinking that she's the killer, Eddie pursues her to Toontown after a series of madcap hijinks through the Toon City. Eddie finds himself in an alley with Jessica pulling a gun on him. However, the bullet she fires streaks right past him. It's the same kind of bit. I feel like what did we watch? What did we watch recently?
God, there was something we just watched at Dad that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think I think I was thinking about the Sting. At the end of the Sting, where the woman's about to kill him, and then there's the guy that runs up behind him and goes,
and she's shooting it. That's I know I've seen it in something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but because again, we're led to believe when you haven't seen this film, you're led to believe, Jessica killed. He may not be behind everything, but she killed that guy, and this is like before you learn that that's not the case.
Well, and she's Acme's mistress.
Yeah,
patty cake partner, mistress. And she's so it's like you're basically led to believe that she knew that she could get the will if she killed her. If she played patty cake, and he had the Nelson Rockefeller style heart attack. And they found him. They found him in the room like this with the patty cake. Nelson Rockefeller, everybody. When she approaches, she points to a gun. died in his boxers with his mistress.
What a way to go out,
and she was trying to pull up his pants as the cops came in. When she approaches, she points to a gun on the ground behind. Apparently, Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Our good friend Dr.
Robert
Doom.
Downey Jr. character, Dr. Doom.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on that.
We won't.
And his Fantastic Four weasels. Apparently, Doom was planning to shoot Valiant, and her bullet saved his life. After saving Eddie from being shot by Doom, Jessica reveals her actions. Hold on, I just accidentally X'd out of the page because I'm great that way.
Well, and she mentions that's when he all he gave me was a blank piece of paper, right? And again, Chekhov's disappearing and reappearing ink is at play there, which is an excellent. Yes, indeed, wild antic. Yes, it is indeed a wild antic.
By the way, apparently Doom was planning to shoot Valiant, and her bullet saved his life. But the only way to stop the bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That's the lesson here. After saving Eddie from being shot by Doom, Jessica reveals her actions were to ensure Roger's safety, and it was Doom who killed Acme and Maroon. Acme gave his will to Jessica for safety, but when she examined it, the paper was blank. Why is that?
Yep.
Roger had disappeared from Jessica's trunk. Both Jessica and Valiant managed to thumb a ride from Benny, who helps them escape from Toontown. Great.
Chekhov's thumb in that case. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I was thinking the Eagles from the end of Lord of the Rings, where the Eagles come back and
that
like,
works.
take
Yeah.
Which they could have just called the Eagles in the first place. Well, don't get me started.
we covered that when we did Lord of the Rings. I was like, why didn't you just call the freaking Eagles, man?
Maybe they were afraid.
And the answer is Don Henley was a dick. That's why.
I was gonna say maybe they were just taking it.
Yeah, I
easy.
was gonna say maybe.
Yeah,
I was gonna
right,
say
everybody's got to.
the dude.
Who likes the Hotel California,
like,
right?
I hate the Eagles, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Fly, Eagles. Fly.
The dude was unfortunately in the Fellowship. He was cut out later. But.
You have my sword and my axe and my rug, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. All right, come on. Let's stick this landing. Let's go.
After saving Eddie from being shot by Doom, Jessica reveals her on the other
I
side.
shouldn't
of the tunnel,
encourage it, but I do. Anyway.
Doom is waiting with a barrel of dip that ends up flattening
Yeah,
Benny's tires.
here. Last thing with Smith. The Eagles were regrettably stuck in the Hotel California because you can check out and you can never leave. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
They-
Bit over.
I fucking hate that American Horror Story did the literal plot of that, where they're like, oh, it's a hotel and you can never leave, and it ended with hotel. Yeah, that was when that show jumped the shark. I was like, I've seen one episode of that
The
season. And I was
addiction
like,
demon.
done.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
I've never seen that show, and I doubt I will.
A giant drilling nail dick and rapes addicts.
You're not selling it to me.
Exactly the point.
There's two really amazing seasons, two like pretty good seasons, and then it's gone.
Look, man, even a
I
blind
never
chicken finds a kernel of corn now and again. All right, I gotta say, so much time left in this world.
Oh, you know, yeah. that's the I wish I was blind chick. Eddie, Jessica, and Roger are captured by Doom, and his weasels are held at the Acme factory, where Doom reveals his plan. You always want to reveal your plan, and you always want to talk about it at length. And you want to make sure that
finally get
people are
what you want. You gotta spill the tea.
They're over a barrel of dip, or maybe some sharks. I don't know.
May I remind you, we're on with Mike Scott, who literally does a James Bond podcast. So he knows all about it. Yeah.
That's why I was
Bottle and Bond, everybody.
Doom walks away and assumes the weasels are going to take care of everything. That's what the henchmen do.
That's what henchmen do. Exactly. They're henchmen in here.
It would be like I'm just imagining the version of it that it's like they're over a thing of sharks, and it's like they're
won, and it's like no, you haven't won. Even talking about your plan and something's gonna give every time they fall for an award.
I like a martini, shaken not stirred, please. I do like the idea of a Bob Hoskins. He's James Bond with his regular voice.
Oh man!
And
Need some closed captions for that one.
Bob Hoskins is Bond, and Danny DeVito is like the villain. And
well, that's like John Benjamin as Archer.
And at the end of it, you find out. At the end of the movie, you find out they're brothers. Twins.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. We'll get to that.
Eddie, Jessica, and Roger are captured, held at the Acme factory. Since he owns Cloverleaf, it's still a great company name. Like it really does sound like a company that you would. And Acme is yet to turn up. He'll take control of Toontown and destroy it with a mobile dip sprayer. I hate when my mobile dip sprayer goes into effect and it's getting all over the place. It's like 3 a.m.
It must have been in its 40s.
It only gets worse, pal.
Oh no, my mobile dip sprayer won't spray anymore. Then force people to use it by dismantling the train fleet and make a fortune through a series of businesses built to appeal to motorists. I mean, that's one way to put it. It's one of those things where seeing that scene.
You're talking about our president.
Yeah, but no, it transported me to watching that as a kid. Like his great thing where he's talking about the freeways and the rest, but he does it in such like a classic old kind of villainous way where he's like restaurants that serve fastly served food, and he's like he's describing everything in this kind of off-putting way where it's like kind of uncanny valley.
Yeah.
And it's all like stuff that's just like, no, that's just reality now. That's
and at the end he's like, my God, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not
great.
It's not. It's
Christopher Lloyd is so good in this role.
He didn't blink any scene that he's filmed. He does not blink.
Really?
the entire movie.
Oh, I wonder. You know what?
Yeah.
That's one thing Jenna Ortega did on Wednesday. Tim Burton's like, "You're not blinking. Keep doing that." And I'm like, I wonder where she got that idea from.
Wah, wah, wah.
Will you cut that out?
When Roger unsuccessfully attempts to save Jessica, the couple is tied onto a hook. This is what you want to do. You want to make sure the couple is tied onto a hook, and there's something down there.
And don't just kill them
slowly lowered
immediately.
into-
Make sure
Yeah.
make sure it takes at least 10 minutes.
And don't shut up about how you won.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's a version of a that has to
Leave it to your very competent minions who have definitely proven themselves time and time again to be very valuable in your resources.
There's got to be like a version of a Bond movie where he gets captured by like a cartel, and they're not playing with the I'm gonna give you a long story, because the story is just I want to sell drugs, so he's popped James Bond almost immediately. And it's like he didn't have the time to get away that time.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the
It's the Scarface.
it's a choose your own adventure, James Bond. That would be like the first bad decision.
You're not dying another day. You're dying today, Bond.
They died today. Yeah, exactly.
Die another day. Oh man, this is
worst Bond song ever. Anyway.
Tomorrow never dies. You only live twice. Really? That seems like a lot of time.
Live and let die.
All right. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. He distracts the weasels by performing a comedic vaudeville act full of pratfalls, causing them to die of laughter before he kicks their leader into the dip. I love that he can't come up with it. He's like, I love to see my time. I can't complete a rhyme, and he's like,
I get stuck
Yeah.
Not a look.
Yeah. Kick you in the nose.
Nose? That don't
That doesn't
rhyme
rhyme.
with
Yeah, they're like, no,
No, but this does. I thought that was the most amazing scene I'd ever seen in my life when I saw that as a
the
kid.
whole
By the way,
musical scene is awesome.
So first time I saw it, I thought it was silly and loved it. Second time I saw it, I was too cool for school and was like, oh, this is the worst part of the movie. And third time I saw it, was like, no, I was right the first time. This is like one of the most badass things. Because you also have the thing that he's trying to save everyone, and he's basically overcoming like all of his internalized faults and trauma to do like the most demeaning thing possible, because he knows that's what'll happen, because over and over again we're told, oh, stop laughing, you'll laugh yourself to death, over and over again with the henchmen. Which is, I love that as a conceit. It's great. I love this brought up like so often, and I think it's so it's an act of heroism, right? So the too cool teenage me who saw this like, this part sucks, except for the ball kick, that was good, was wrong. And this scene is brilliant and beautiful. Thank you. Yes, someone gets kicked in the balls, and it is beautiful, and it is not Jackass. Thank you.
Is Eddie Valley?
So I had a thought. I had a thought about this next part.
On his mother's side.
Doom is flattened by a steamroller while fighting with Eddie, but he survives, revealing he's actually disguised Toon and Teddy's murderer. In my head, because I had seen the Naked Gun, the original one, when Ricardo Montalban's crushed by the steamroller, and he goes, "My father died the same way," and I was thinking like, Christopher Lloyd is the father of the captain in the Naked Gun.
Canonically, it's overcoming his Toonism to save the day from the comments. Just wanted to throw that in there. The getting killed by a steamroller does not seem like the best way to go.
Hey, remember in Austin Powers where it's like, move, move, move for like 20 minutes, and he just stand there, It's like,
I was just, but the whole time I was watching the steamroller go over him, I was like, I want to take this and go dun 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 dun. My father died the same way. Struggling against Doom's Toon abilities, Eddie empties the machine's dip supply, spraying and dissolving Doom to death. A hell of a way to go. I would have taken the steamroller. The machine crashes through the wall into Toontown, where it's destroyed by a passenger train.
Immediately, and I love that bit. Like, just like the second it breaks through, like the train just hits it and it's gone. It's
So if you pause that on each of those train cars, there's apparently like crimes being committed in each of the train cars. Like people are getting murdered and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
And another crazy thing, have any of you
there's a munchkin that's been hung.
Have you ever seen what Doom really looks like? Like the Toon version. Google it sometime, because it's like he's like all blue with like crazy red hair.
But,
like without the mask and all that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
oh, so he
Yeah,
kind of
but-
looks. He
yeah,
literally
but
looks
I-
like Paul Giamatti in Big Fat Liar.
Yes.
Orange hair, blue skin.
I somehow saw that scene recently. Doom cartoon. Oh, did you mean Dr. Doom? No, I meant Judge Doom, his brother.
Yeah, please. How dare you? How dare
Oh
you?
shit, that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got to put it on the screen. 'Cause
I know. I'm trying to go down to it, but
Yeah,
it
all right.
did the thing where it's like, hold on. It did the thing where it goes.
Got to join the Patreon to view this exclusive
Yeah.
content.
Red eyes and all.
his real like yeah. Da 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 da.
There you
Oh
go.
wow. Okay.
Like the Grinch's uncle.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
Like,
say.
that's what
He's
I.
just
That's why.
blue. With red eyes.
By the way, same writers of The Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey one. Same writers of this movie and that.
Dr. Doom was trying to save the
I
family
love-
name.
That's why I love it.
This is what I assume at the end of if they just let it go and like he didn't get killed at the end of The Fly. This is what I assume
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum would eventually look
Maybe
like.
the end state. Yeah, sure, makes sense.
He's the
Wonderful.
he's the Brundle Fry.
He's just happy to be
After-
here, you know.
and just
Jeff Goldblum.
Clear the Gag Factory, worst comedy. Gag Factory.
Well, I mean, what the gags that are there, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's just
Gag gifts.
everyone's carrot top that performs at the Gag
I was
Factory.
gonna say that's where I'm doing my
Roger's-
set on Tuesday. Come see me at the Gag Factory. Funny Man Conan Neutron.
Every seat has a whoopee cushion. Roger and Jessica are lowered to the ground just in time for Benny to return with the police, Dolores, and Lieutenant Santino. Italian representation. Eddie explains it was actually Doom who killed Marvin Acme as well as R.K. Maroon and his brother Teddy. He's a bad guy. As Reader Herman explains, the town is still in danger of being demolished by another developer. Dolores notices a stain on Eddie's shirt. It appears that the ink that Acme squirted him with, according to Roger, was disappearing and reappearing. Getting an idea, Eddie returns the love letter to Roger, who begins to read it. As Roger reads the letter, the number of words begin to appear. Eddie's hunch is correct. Yeah, good job, Eddie. Well, I mean, good job, Dolores, more than Eddie, I guess.
Dolores. Ugh.
The blank piece of paper that Roger found in Jessica's dressing room was Acme's will written in invisible ink. And as promised, the will gives ownership of Toontown to the Toons. That would never happen in real America, though. Nobody would ever be like, "Oh, I got murdered, left the ghetto to the black people." It is like,
So we get our happy ending, which by the way, like all the tunes like around like the dead Judge Doom is kind of like, oh wow, this is probably a little more grisly than Pinocchio's used to, but I don't know, maybe it's like the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio and it's like light average Tuesday.
I was gonna say Pinocchio's seen some shit at Pleasure Island.
He's seen some shit.
Yeah, that movie's a lot darker than I remembered as a kid. You know, when
There
I was
is
watching it, I was like,
Pinocchio, Key Largo, but it's Pinocchio in the Bogart role.
I totally forgot the live action one. Cynthia Erivo
Yeah, but
was
then
the
how
fairy
does
lady.
he gets out of the ship and every time he has to be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to the island." His nose is,
Yeah.
they're like, "What's going on with your nose?" He's like, "Oh, we're gonna be there soon. I'm just driving
Like that scene in Shrek 2 where they're like, "Tell us a lie, Pinocchio, to get us out of here." He's like, "I'm wearing ladies' underwear," and they're like, "Your nose isn't growing. What's going on here?"
All right, so we're literally at the end of the movie, and the whole thing is that like, oh no, Eddie.
Wait, as a number of cartoon characters sing the song "Smile, darn you, smile." You can't say that anymore, and women get mad if you tell them that. Meanwhile, Porky Pig is among the toon cops clearing the scene and realizes he's found a good line to end the story. Ibidi, ibidi, ibidi. That's all, folks.
Nicely done.
As he addresses, I need to get the
Yeah.
as music as one of our sounds. As he addresses the audience just before Tinkerbell flies in to tap the screen in her own tradition to bring this unique film collaboration to a close.
Yeah, and
Disney
They would've done more stuff
demanded
together.
Disney
Right.
demanded the Tinkerbell at the end because of the "That's all, folks" right before it.
It's
Because
like
of
you can't have the last
Yeah.
word, whatever,
Yeah.
last cartoon.
And then it would be funny if Porky
It's
Pig
all
was like,
Disney.
that's all, folks. And then you see Tinkerbell and he's like, oh, one more thing. And then you see Tinkerbell say, no, wait.
I always think of that Rachel Berry quote in Glee. She's like, "I'm like Tinkerbell.
post-credit
I
scene.
need applause to live."
it's a post
I mean,
credit.
today's
does
Roger
Disney.
Rabbit would have today's Roger Rabbit would have a post-credit scene that it's like there's like a bunch of gelatinous like whatever, and then you see like you see Doom pop up out of it or something like that. And like,
and then you see Yosemite Sam being like, "I'm putting your team together, varmints."
or they would literally do the Suicide Squad, and they'd have one of the weasels, and then you find out like one of the weasels were still alive.
It's a Magnificent Seven, but tunes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Elmer Fudd's involved. Anyway, whatever. We'll workshop this in the after party. So there we go. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, everybody. So. Thank you, Forrest. Letterboxd, of course, is a place for film lovers to talk to each other about the films they love, maybe the films that they didn't love, maybe the films that they just professed that their first crush was Jessica Rabbit. Numerous, as you might imagine. Numerous reviews mentioning this.
I never seen a human woman before. My first crush was Jessica Rabbit.
And, of course, it's a bottom-up democracy. Everyone gets to have their say, not just Siskel's and Eberts of the world. Everyone gets to chime in a pine with movies that they love. And this is best done for the purpose of this bit very succinctly, where I collect these weekly and put them forth for us and the rest of the panel to react to. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Let's go. Mm-hmm. That poor boot did nothing wrong.
And I wish as they were putting it into the thing, it said it was like "ay caramba" and did the bite.
Just looks up at Doom. Eat my shorts.
That'd be in the post credits outtakes. Yeah.
You want me? He's like, you want me to eat your shorts, eh? And he's
I'm all right. Nobody worry about me.
I got dude. All right, I got one. So it's Judge Doom, but at the end you find out everyone looks at it, it's like Sideshow Bob.
There you go. Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Kelsey Grammer.
As someone that was just in LA, I think we're living in the timeline where Judge Doom won, because it does seem like their freeway system was set up by a deranged tune.
I mean, you can see you can see Judge Doom, Republican, California. He's like in the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
Like.
Judge Doom would represent Orange County for sure.
I was just thinking that, Conan.
Yep.
Great minds, yada yada yada.
That'd be the sequel. He's running for Congress. He's back somehow. He's running for Congress. I don't know.
He brings YIMBY. He brings the YIMBY movement to.
Look, we're not racist. We have tunes.
Look, I'm not racist. Some of my best friends growing up were tunes.
The villain is capitalism and the dismantling of affordable public transit in favor of the U.S. interstate highway system. True.
Yeah.
That's just
I mean,
accurate.
Look. I think Judge 2 would have made the trains run on time personally, but
seems like it'd be a thing you'd be good at. It's crazy that they got Bugs and Mickey to agree to work together. Both divas.
They're like, come on, we're gonna give you more carrots, and he's like, and Mickey's like, oh, please be in my movie, and he's like,
I just wish they'd have switched the roles and they'd have made Mickey do the shenanigans and give him the spare tire. That'd
be good. You know, they were going to work together for one other movie, Heat. Actually, that was the original casting.
They couldn't decide which one got top billing though.
Yep, it fell apart in negotiations.
They're sitting, across from each other in in the diner or whatever, and he's like, I don't know no other life, huh?
Got a great ass. Not plan material, but here we go. All right.
Oh, that was good.
We are available for children's parties. Thank you. Melting acid is so awkward. Like, oh my God, please just fall forward so we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
See, but that's why we have Mike Scott here to talk us through the process of the monologue as the person gets dissolved in acid.
Exactly.
It's like everyone has stopped. He's like, oh wait, lower them down slowly, and he's like, I need to tell you my plan. My plan is that I'm going to build a transit system, and it's going to go from here to here. Can you guys bring the maps in? Okay.
Right, exactly. Fire up the PowerPoint real quick. Thank you. So Yeah, and I
They
love
see
that like
the
the nozzle starts
slowly,
going the other direction at one point, and then it's like whatever. There's like 4 fake outs. It's good.
Every Bond movie he's like slowly, like you see him just slowly getting out of his handcuffs by like filing the handcuff away, and he's like, and then after that I will take over the world by slowly each person will get a radio control thing in their brains, and each thing will, and you just see him like trying to get this thing off.
Yeah.
No,
there is a Bond movie where Blofeld gets dipped. There is a scene in Diamonds Are Forever at the very beginning where Blofeld gets kicked into this big thing of acid, but it's not, of course,
Diamonds
the
are
real
forever.
Blofeld.
Yeah, Diamonds are forever, Doc.
Just recast cartoon characters in all our favorite movies. Sure, why not?
I mean, I
Tune in the after
Bugs
party.
Bunny, James Bond. Bugs Bunny, James Bond would be great.
I could see it.
Shake, shaking not scared, Doc.
Exactly. That probably was a Looney Tunes bit. Should not have shown it to my brother as a whole family film.
How old was the brother?
Yeah, it depends on.
It would be young. It would be young brother. Young brother living in Toontown.
Love that record. No. Goofy cleared from spy charges.
Nice pull.
The only time you get to see Goofy is like he's on TV and like he's taking on the USSR.
He's the equivalent of like Buster Keaton or something, right? I mean,
yeah,
he's like one of the best.
And like they're not your grandfather's Goofy.
Right, exactly. Mickey Mouse looking at a fucked up, horrific corpse covered in acid.
What? This is traumatizing.
It kind of is, and they all just kind of rush in. It's like, oh, okay. So,
but also the thing that really, like, as a kid, that really fucked me up is that like they didn't know that like they introduced the concept of mortality to the Toons in that moment.
Not known. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like when
they're like the elves in Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Except for like the horrific like version of it where you're like, because like imagine the only way you could die is to be dipped in a vat of acid, and then a guy starts walking around with acid, and he's like, you think you're just kind of like gonna live forever, I guess. I mean, I guess everyone has a moment where they think they're gonna not like literally, but they think somehow that they're gonna live forever, and then someone dies like near them or in front of them, and they're like, holy shit, actually mortality is a real thing. But imagine you don't ever think you could die because you can't die. And then someone introduces the concept of death, but the only death you can have is to be dipped in a thing of acid. Like, that is a horrifying thought. It's like, oh, I hope nobody brings acid around. Not LSD, not anything else.
Yeah. Hope nobody brings a bucket of water around. Yeah, it's like all kinds of things.
The wicked witch. No, we'll be fine as long as nobody brings water around.
As long as we don't have no water around, it's fine.
Hey, that's propaganda. Remember.
All right. Before Endgame, there was Daffy Duck and Donald Duck playing piano while Betty Boop served drinks. So true.
Exactly.
Yep.
So true. So great.
Hey, Forrest, do you say "oh boy" in Donald Duck's voice?
And Donald Duck. Yeah, there you go.
I just don't know how they could do it without mouth sounds getting in the way of it a little bit, and it's like.
I don't know how they
that
do
makes
it.
sense.
I wouldn't want to be on
covered
camera
Nothing
doing
Beats
it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Good.
When I was a little kid, my grandpa when I was a kid, the same grandpa that used to think if I was king of the forest, he would sometimes like hold me and go.
Just bust loose into Donald Duck.
Yeah.
That's a goof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
This is just a bit. He's a guy that had a lot of bits. He had a lot of gags.
Runs in the family. Tweety Bird sent a man plummeting to his death. He is a menace to everyone around him.
And he looks right at him and just goes like, slowly steps on his hand.
Yeah. It's great.
Come on, help me. And he's like, burp, burp, burp.
So shit fast.
That's all, folks.
Canonically established. Those are the Letterboxd one-liners for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Please follow the show on our Letterboxd HQ account at Movie Night Extra, where we have all the great content from the shows themselves, the streams, attendant short-form content, bits, all that good stuff. You can follow us on the popular Letterboxd platform. We encourage that you do so. The Toontown Special Economic Zone over there is at Always Flacco, Forrest. It's a good one.
Yeah, I'm setting up a tune. They're gonna let the tunes work in sweatshops.
Yeah, exactly. It's a task force, really. There's going to be an economic zone czar, a toon czar. Thank you, if you will. You can follow at Always Flacco to see what he's up to, logging stuff from this show, and many more on his Letterboxd account. Dabbling in watercolors, Eddie? Yes, indeed. At Conan Neutron, that's me. New Criterion Challenge for 2026 dropped. I just put my list up, and you can follow me along for that if you feel so inclined. It's a lot of fun. It's a very rewarding experience. Highly suggested that you do. I'm always logging the highbrow, the midbrow, the populous fare, all that stuff. I've been kind of a logging tear lately. It is cold as hell and snowy, so I'm not going anywhere to do it. So that's
I was trying to say cold as hell and snowy.
I'll have what he's having. Yeah. So Adam, Kristina there. Bob Hoskins is British. You can follow her on Letterboxd as she logs stuff for this show and many more things.
It would be
well.
less. It would be less jarring if he had like a different British accent. I think it's the fact that he has like the
very Cockney.
Cockney, yeah.
Well, the first time I watched Long Good Friday. I had to put on subtitles. I could not understand a thing he was saying in that movie.
I have that in my Criterion Challenge, actually, so I will remember to put subtitles on because I have not seen that yet, and I've seen I saw one scene from it, and I was like, I need to watch this from the beginning.
Very young Pierce Brosnan in that.
All right.
Ooh, before Mamma Mia, he sang really well in that one.
Adam, Kristina, there. Mike Scott is Mike Scott 1981. He didn't cack nobody. And you can follow him for you're doing Criterion Challenge again this year.
I got mine up too.
Yeah, that's right. That's so you can follow him along for that, as well as all the great movies that he does on Bottle and Bond, his podcast, which we'll talk about more with the plugs. Let's do them right now, Forrest. No delay, no wait, please.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end, because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
Yeah. So JD Pincus of Buttle Surfers and Honky Melvin's Areola 51. That's a good one. Jack Officers, that's another one. The mighty Jeff Pincus is on the show, and that is now, as a few hours ago, up in the general feed for all to hear. Find it wherever you get your podcast. ProtonicReversal.com for the archives. As always free. No ads, no sponsors. No kidding. Patreon.com/ProtonicReversal. $1 a month advance access. Maybe if you makes a great gift, as Al Franken used to say. And you can the year end my favorite records of the year episodes coming up this week, as well as Tim Sodi of the Fucking Champs, Erica Dunn of Tropical Fuckstorm, Everyone's got fuck in their name. Wow, I didn't even notice that. That's funny. Dave Clifford of Pleasure Forever and the fucking VSS. Just kidding. That's not it. That's not it. He's coming up as well. Got I think 5 episodes before the end of the year coming up. So most podcasts go on vacation. Not me. Not me. Not me. Controversial, everybody. Following all the normal, the normal things. Is that what you were working on that whole time? All right. Respect.
Yeah, well, I also got this one.
There you go. Okay, good. I feel like I've been played off like it's Academy Awards and I'm freaking Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody, everybody. Thank you.
I love when a girl that's this tall puts a little bump on my nose at the end of the end of the movie.
By the way, Adrian Brody still making that speech right now to this day.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy's like, I got shit to do, man.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. He's like, you look like the next frame you see is a skeleton. You know?
Yeah.
I love I like the idea because he's such a fucking obnoxious asshole when he's doing it. People start heading for the doors. Don't leave. He's like,
Yeah.
like, get
Doors are locked from the outside. Of course, no more touring for the year for Neutron, The Secret Friends, but there's some really exciting stuff that'll be announced in January, I believe. NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com and all the streaming platforms, things along those lines. We're going to be running a holiday deal coming up on Friday for some special merch and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all of that. Is there?
I just realized who he looks like. He looks like John Lydon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, respect. So there you go, Kristina. What do you got?
I love the Queen.
Well, Christmas is coming up. Yes, gotta start doing Christmas related stuff on stream. Of course, had my show, had Alex, Devil's Advocate, on, talked about all things, Marvel and Welcome to Derry, which loved.
Oh yeah, just saw the season ender. Yeah, it was great.
Pennywise getting bitch slapped was hilarious, and him being like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, this is funny." Also, of course, tomorrow, Forrest and I have our show, Absurdity Space, at 6 p.m. Eastern. We will be going over why does Australia have as many guns ever? Like, Forrest is doing a lot of research into that.
More guns they had during the Port Arthur massacre.
Happened. Yeah, like crazy. Yeah, so we're gonna be.
It's not been reported in the U.S. media until this anti-Semitic beach shooting that happened this weekend. It was not reported in the U.S. media really at all. But the Guardian's been reporting nonstop this entire summer, going, "Hey, there's too many guns. There's too many guns in Australia. Hey, Australia's gun laws, they're breaking down. Australia, they have a gun lobby that's literally been shaped by the NRA. Maybe we should look into that and not have that." And then
why do countries who have no mass shootings want to be more like America? I don't know. Also, too, we're probably going to be also going over Rob Reiner's legacy. Silly. Also, Anthony Geary.
Movie show.
Yeah, Anthony Geary.
We got to talk about in the after party. We got to talk a little bit about
but I'm sure
about our good friend Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
A guy we knew personally.
Yeah, friend of the show, Rob Reiner. Yeah, exactly. We call him Robbie.
Robbie, baby, get on the phone. Princess Bride, boy, wonderful movie.
We're in the pit of despair,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
it really does
going
feel
on.
like that. It feels like before the end of the year, there's like just a bloodletting. Like it feels like the purge before the end of the year. Every time I went to go check anything this week, like the news or something, it's like, something worse happened. Yeah. Like I was following along with it. I'll probably talk about it with Kristina tomorrow. I was following along with the thing that happened at Brown, where they had the
We still haven't found the guy.
Yeah,
it's been 4 days, and I'm like, Cash. This
went in there
I'm
and
like,
opened
this is
fire
Cash
in Brown University, killed a bunch of people, and it was 4 a.m. and I was checking. Like I finally got done with like the stuff for this podcast. I checked again, and it was like, a mass shooting in Australia, and everyone in Australia was like, a mass shooting is happening. I was like, oh, awesome! It's the time where the two things. They're intersecting on my timeline right now. This is great.
That's a cheery end of the show. Hey, Mike, got anything to plug?
Well,
now that we're in this hole, can you dig us out, please? Thank you.
So we just wrapped and released Die Another Day. So we're going in order. So the next one is
a good one.
Listen and see, or listen and find out. Oof. But we're doing Casino Royale. That'll listen and see. We're gonna do Casino Royale. That'll come out right after Christmas. And obviously, we do them every 2 weeks. But we did, and I'll announce it here, we are going to be doing a spin-off podcast that's going to be kind of related. It's going to have companion beverages, but we're also going to do like some other companion stuff, companion books, companion music, something to keep talking about movies. Not to step on anybody's toes that already does a far superior movie.
Look, first of all, how dare you? Secondly, where do I subscribe? Do you
it's going to be called. Nice. It's going to be called.
I'm just a toon supremacist. What can I say?
But we're going to call it Spirited Movie Companions, and probably around March was when that'll start up. But
I was being like, they're kind of running out of movies. Like, there's not that many left. Like, it's like, is this going to be the end of it or what?
And we're gonna do a couple little surprises, and by surprises I mean hate watchers of the original Casino Royale and Never Say Never Again. So we're probably gonna do both of those too, even though they're not Eon.
I was just
see you're not taking the movie title's advice.
I was thinking about it, just in general, because, well, I mean, your podcast, but also the fact that they've just put up all the high def. I don't know why they need to put up the high definition Mad Men episodes, but I have been enjoying going back and watching them. And my favorite end of a season is when they do the You Only Live Twice, and they it's like the song, but it's the end credits kind of as Don, like they zoom out and he's walking through all the sets on his at his advertising place or whatever. He's walking out because Megan Draper becomes an actress or whatever, and that's like hands down my favorite end to any season that they did because of the perfect James Bond ending to it.
Nice.
It's awesome. It's the Nancy Sinatra. Nancy. By the way, didn't mention Frank Sinatra's performance in this movie.
Yeah.
The
Singing Sword.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was like an archive that they used.
It was, yeah. It wasn't him.
It's better than
they can maybe get Frank Sinatra Jr., but not actual Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Or they
Frank Sinatra Jr. That is the joke, everybody. Frank Sinatra Jr.
Is that the one that got kidnapped?
Yes.
Today they would put Seth MacFarlane as Frank Sinatra because he does this. He sang along with Frank Sinatra Jr. He had him on Family Guy. Family Guy. But Mike, do you have final thoughts about this, or about maybe you want to say something about anti-toon bigotry in our community, or
Well, like I said, watching this as a kid, it just hits completely differently as a kid from what it does an adult, and it's just two completely different ways to appreciate the movie. I will never not love this movie. I will watch this all the time. I will watch it with my daughter. I will watch it with my grandkids, and we just won't explain some of the things that don't need to be explained until they're older for that. But I mean, this is just I'm just too wrapped in this nostalgia fog for this to ever think of anything other than a perfect movie for me.
I mean, I think it's good without even without the nostalgia part. I mean, I obviously have the nostalgia part, so maybe I'm too biased to really have the thing, but it transported me to being a kid, and I could just I think it'd be good no matter what time it is. Kristina, final thoughts about Wajo Wabbit.
It's such a classic. It's really one of the times where it's a few times where you do have live action and 2D animation working together rather smoothly. And it's kind of sad that we've lost that in the last 20 plus years. It can be replicated. I mean, we've seen it in a Paul Abdul music video. We've seen Gene Kelly's done it,
Where's MC Scat Cat?
Yeah.
Actually, I heard he got Me Too'd.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, great cast when it comes to voice acting, live action. The fact that Kathleen Turner was uncredited as Jessica Rabbit, it's kind of crazy to me.
She didn't. I don't think. See, she was very, very pregnant at the time, and Robert Zemeckis was like, "Hey, you're very pregnant right now, and we get along really well. Like, this
you want to lay in bed and do a voiceover."
Yeah, essentially, and she said this is her favorite role because she's like, I was not going to get up and act for anything, so I was like, fuck yeah, I don't even care if I'm credited.
You got married.
But also
I learned sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I learned very recently who the singing voice was for Jessica Rabbit is Amy Irving from Carrie and Crossing Delancey.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
She was credited. So.
Amy Irving, good on you.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what I came up with for the after party title?
I don't.
Try to read after. I came up with the Acme Awards, Acme Award nominations.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you did there. Yeah, that's good. That's all I can
Acme, get your Acme.
It's only the short list for the below the line categories, but we're still going to talk about it.
Yeah. But I mean, we're hanging out too. But Conan, do you have some final thoughts? Final thoughts.
I mentioned it.
One of us.
I mentioned in the crux of the show, but yeah, he makes me laugh. It's got to be one of the most badass lines in any noir and anything with a, let's say, mismatch.
Yo, that's right. If you're funny, you can you can do a lot.
If you're ugly, just say you're funny, and it'll work. Trust me, ladies. He's funny. He makes me laugh.
I swear, I'm funny. I swear.
I'm funny. I can make people laugh. Yeah, a lot to say. We said most of all during the meat of the matter for the show, but the way the film works, I think it's because there's character development and growth, and that's earned. And it turns out being one of the best movies about movies ever made for that very reason. And the tech may have gotten better, but the filmmaking here is both undeniable and very entertaining, audacious and enthralling. And yeah, as I mentioned, this is how I found out about the actual creation of the interstate freeway system through this cartoon crossover movie. So educational as well. And it's a movie that's only grown in my estimation. So I actually right before the show started, put it on my top 100 list. Sorry, Punch Drunk Love. No more room for you.
I mean, it's like it's a classic. Just like it also
it's either that or Battle Royale. I'm not jumping Battle Royale. Sorry.
Yeah, there's so much like in our I don't know in the pop cultural milieu, I guess today we're living in like, and this doesn't feel forced when they do it. It feels like it's very organic, and a lot of the stuff now doesn't feel organic. But it's like, we're kind of in the age of IP, which I like kind of hate sometimes. But like this movie is like a good example of what you could do to make like a world that feels organic while also doing something like that has that IP as like a natural element of it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you should not and could not remake Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You could do other things with the characters, but you probably shouldn't do that either, frankly.
Yeah, but I mean, they're doing like, I mean, I don't think it's really like the same kind of crossover or anything like that, but like, like something like Acme versus Coyote or whatever, like stuff like that, where it's like different versions of like a story that like hasn't been. I mean, maybe we'll find out it's exactly the same as something, and then be like,
all I can say is, do not speak to me about Space Jam in this household. I'll throw you right out.
How about the Chippendales?
That is another movie that I saw at that same age.
I like Space Jam. The sequel sucked.
It's not on the same level. Come on.
I love
they're like, well, maybe we could get, I don't know, what's another kind of toony thing? Oh, I don't know, basketball players. Like, I don't know why you said basketball players, but.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, hang out for the after party if that's your deal. If you want more nonsense, boy, we got it. What are we doing next week? What is it? Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
With Daniel House of
we gotta make our cameras in black and white for the occasion.
Skinyard.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Well, my next one will be better. Dude, not the actual because they are really hard to watch. Kind of, I've seen them, but like Plan 9 from Outer Space is like it's a rough watch, right? Like some of
it's
it,
not great.
And like there's the classic Bela Lugosi fighting with the octopus, and he's just like I'm gonna act like that, and like hard watching all of them. But I was really obsessed when I was younger with the idea of Ed Wood, like as a director, and like how he just didn't give up on continuing to make these like even if they're the worst things in the world, he's filming them at a church. Like the church is giving him money to do it.
And it ends up being making stuff with your friends. Which, what is podcasting if not that?
Yeah.
So not to tip my hand too early for that episode, but
what are like most YouTube channels that shoot the live like not like like with just a camera? Like it ends up being that, and then you end up on like SNL or something if you're really really good at it. And that's like that's Ed Wood today. It would be like SNL digital shorts.
Yeah.
Tune in for that and much more in the after party, everybody.
Yep, we will be over there soon. I put the after party. I guess it did it as a desktop and a mobile thing, which now it does. Which I need to figure out. Just gotta turn that off, that part of it, because it's like two versions of it. But yeah, I put the after party link in the actual thing. So that's happening tomorrow. Obviously, watch the Absurdity Space. Anything else? Ed Wood, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for the
closing
day
out
before.
with Once Upon a Time in
What
Hollywood.
a good time to be doing
I haven't.
Tarantino film.
I was gonna say I haven't read the news in like 3 weeks. Quentin Tarantino, anything happening with him? No. Okay. You got opinions about that?
I'm just imagining the end, like there's a post credit scene and it's Paul Dano with a flamethrower and he flamethrowers everybody in the end of Once Upon a Time in
Dano
Hollywood.
Nation Rise.
All right. So anyway, tune in for that. Thanks.
Tune in for the ibity. That's all.